And $40 if you win. Nick and Jake's, 3 locations. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. nickandjakes.com.
Love it.
We'll play the feud in the 3 o'clock hour. Tim Grunhard in the 4. Matt Beasler in the 5. Talking World Cup.
Pretty good. It's a nice little...
Actually, Grunny's going to talk World Cup. Beasler's going to talk American football.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to mix it up.
Change it up.
Like ESPN.
It's a new month. Let's do things a new way.
Yeah. ESPN does that kind of. They put the NBA guys on the college game and the college guys on the NBA game and move things around. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's see how well-rounded our guests are.
I'm just kidding.
Timmy, sometimes you have to get him to football. Rather talk about the Cubs or some other thing.
You
eventually get him around
Bears.
Yes.
Blackhawks.
Something.
His high school days.
Yep. St. Lawrence.
Traveling. His passion for travel.
Yep.
Family. You never know.
Nope. Never know where you're going to go.
Yeah, you never know where he might hit you. So we look forward to talking to Tim Grunhard. Coming up here in the 4 o'clock hour. 4 o'clock hour. 4? Yeah. We're going to go 4. Mr. Collier, I was going to say 4.
No,
that is correct.
4.
Okay. Thank you. 913-3810810. You can grab a phone line if you'd like. 913-3810810. Hit me up on the Twitter. That's at SorenPetro, SorenPetro. Chiefs, Royals, Sporting, Missouri, K-State, KU. Always a topic here in the program. 913-3810810. If you've already got something on your mind, we'll set the table here in a second. But, any of those things will work. World Cup. We'll take World Cup today, too. We all have World Cup fever, do we not?
I think so.
Everybody has World Cup fever except for ESPN that continues to make you go to more sports.
To say, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I think where we are, I think, as fans, is particularly in this town, is the fact that it was here and there was some stuff going on, got people to the party, and they found out they liked what they were seeing, and now they're watching games that aren't here that don't involve the United States, because one, the United States success has allowed, as we kind of talked about this a little bit with Sam yesterday, it's allowed you to look at the bracket and see what who they might be able to play, and you start watching that team, see how good they are. But the action both on the pitch and in the stands and everything around it is so compelling that people are like, I kind of like this now. So they're watching games they wouldn't have cared about.
I agree.
Ago. It's crazy.
And if you take it like an NCAA tournament, by the way, so far today, England is a 2-1 winner over the Dominican Republic of the Congo.
England v. Mexico.
Do you think
that's going to be special?
Do you think they travel on a single file line in the Dominican Republic of the Congo?
I don't know.
Congo line?
Oh.
They really have to.
I think that's Conga.
It's close enough.
Close enough.
I thought you'd get it. I thought you'd see where I was going.
I did not.
Okay.
I saw nothing.
Still to come, 3 o'clock, we'll get started with Belgium and Senegal. The winner faces the winner of these United States and Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Mm-hmm.
So, big one. Get your scouting reports ready. Figure out what it is, what the approach is for both these teams.
And that match will be, winners will play on Monday at 7 o'clock in Seattle.
Okay. I always have to check. Everybody has their own way of putting the odds out, so I always got to go to what I think is the best place to find consistency and where the odds are. But, the beauty is, while both states have legalized sports betting, they're obsessed with which one you're in.
That's strange. It's so weird.
Let's seriously, folks. Belgium minus 182, Senegal plus 148, so minus 180 plus 150. To make it easy, Belgium the favorite there, where the U.S. minus 650, Bosnia plus 430. Which, did somebody say that Germany was the same numbers, roughly the same odds?
I don't know.
And ended up falling. So, it's not in the bag. New people.
Nope.
Just ask Germany. That's why they play the matches.
Yep.
The other thing I would say about the World Cup is, how we we look at the brackets in the NCAA tournament, like, oh, look, they've got Kansas and Carolina going there. Of course, yep, all the history of those two. That's what they're looking to capitalize on. It's a little different when you look at the brackets. You might actually run into something that's like, oh, we could get, no, we can't get, right? They did, where, let me make sure. Like, was I the only one that thought, it'd be quite intriguing if we got a U.S.-Iran match? What would that look like on the pitch?
Yeah, they were down in Mexico for the time, and they did not make it through.
No, but like if you got Iraq and Iran, like you can get some that it's like, oh, you throw out the records. Forget about throwing out the records. You might be able to throw out the soccer ball.
Yes,
no ball needed. Well,
could be some problems.
Here comes Iraq in full battle fatigues.
So far,
and there's Iran in armor. Like,
As I look now, I'm like,
the rivalry means something a little different when we get to this level.
Not really a soccer game right now. So far, I don't see any even pending. Canada, Morocco. I don't think there's any long-standing feud there.
Oh,
Paraguay
man.
and
there
France.
are people that'll tell you there have been wars between those two.
Mm. And Brazil, Norway.
Some of them might even have settled them.
Really?
Well, some people.
And then Mexico, England.
Mexico, England. Any history there?
I don't think so. No, no.
Lawrence of Arabia.
That's right.
Came to fight the Turkish. It's never. No. I think there could be some.
Spain, Portugal, is interesting. Matchup of two people who
they're neighbors. How do they get along? Do they get along? Well, sometimes we get along with our neighbors.
That's true, but I mean, is it kind of like a Missouri-Kansas thing where it's just the border showdown type of thing?
I can tell you, I have very limited international travel. So when I'm sorry to go back to the beating the dead horse that is my one trip to Europe. So I'm not making, like, Danny's been many places, not so much me, right? Like, I can tell you that the Austrian guide we had in Austria on the bus tour for my daughter's choir trip, which was a wonderful trip, and got cut off by a guy with German plates.
Mm.
The guy dropped an F-bomb. On a high school choir trip, the guide's like, yeah, well, he's from blank in Germany.
Wow.
Not fans. There's an occupation. There's something, not, they haven't forgotten it. They haven't gotten over it. So
I'm looking here. Yes, Spain and Portugal get along well today. They are close neighbors, strong trading partners, and allies in the European Union.
What's it say about Austria and Germany from the Austrian perspective?
Let's see.
Because this guy had no time. he had no time. He'd point out everything in Austria being better than Germany and so on and so forth.
It says, yes, Austrians and Germans get along well, sharing deep cultural, historical, and economic ties. However, their relationship is best described as a sibling rivalry.
Okay.
It says, while they largely understand each other, subtle cultural differences and lighthearted teasing are very common.
It wasn't lighthearted. This guy was not lighthearted.
There's probably some not lighthearted teasing between Missouri and Kansas. I've seen and heard some of that.
I would agree. But listen, this bracket is kind of, is it not going exactly the way the World Cup wants? We're getting really entertaining games, but other than Germany, all the big boys are coming through?
Yep. And every game's been close except for France.
I guess the Netherlands. The Netherlands didn't come through. I don't know how big a boy they are, but they did not make it through.
But the favorites have gotten through last four. By the way, one small example just occurred to me. The Kansas, Missouri. The first time I heard that was my first tour of working at the Westin. There was a cashier who worked one of the booths, and he came in for lunch. He was just exasperated. He's like, what's wrong? He goes, everyone from Kansas is stupid. I went, what? He says every time someone comes through and they don't know where they're going, it's always a Kansas plate. Everyone from Kansas is stupid. Now, I think it's probably an overgeneralization there.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I heard someone from Missouri just throw a kick into the ribs of.
Yeah. By the way, Netherlands 7, Germany 12 in the FIFA rankings. So those are the upsets. They would, by ranking, should have been in the
for sure
in the Sweet 16, if you will. By the way, more and more when the games are closer, don't you think we're 5 minutes away from them announcing 64? Don't you think that's coming?
Probably.
I mean,
when is it not?
All you need to do is add 16 teams, and then you can take everything back to just 2 teams advancing. I've heard a lot of the old school soccer people complain about 3 teams advancing.
Yeah.
They're like, I'd rather if it was going to be 3 teams advance, just like everybody's third advances.
I wonder
instead of like 8 of the 12 thirds advance.
I wonder how much of it that we will hear is from people in this country who have just kind of become accustomed to, hey, let's add more teams. Are people in Europe looking to? Do they say, hey, 64?
That's a good point. I am hearing just
sure.
an American perspective on it.
So,
64 is a round number.
It is.
And it works with the pool play. And most people like the half, 2 are out, 2 are in. Does seem like a little better way to do it.
I asked yesterday from a fan perspective. I said, who do you root for? And in one of the frank opinions, when you root for a game which you don't have a particularly vested interest in the team, who do you root for? Underdog or favorite? And underdog won overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
So in a situation like this where people don't really know, they like to see the team out of nowhere. They loved watching Paraguay beat Germany. They loved watching Morocco beat the Netherlands.
But I wonder if the rest of the world might be like, yeah, not watching that final. We're not watching Paraguay, Morocco.
Yeah, that's
final.
the thing. We like the basketball tournament.
Yeah.
We like the first round because you can have all kinds of
upsets
fun.
in the first round, but big boys better be playing at the end.
That's generally why the NCAA tournament has been successful. Is that when you make a team win 4 games to get to the Final Four, that usually fleshes out the teams who are just have an upset here or there. The double-digit seeds rarely they've gotten there more. There's usually one that makes one run, but for the most part, you've got a lot of chalk. The NIL and the portal have evened that out a little bit. But for the longest time, if you were the Sweet 16 was where underdogs where Cinderella went to die.
Yeah,
at least the Elite 8.
I do think that it makes sense. I know we've talked about this a little bit, but part of the reason we're loving it all is that it's in our country and it's on our time schedule. And so that definitely helps. But I think it's going to, we're going to make an effort next time because we've all been exposed to it even more now.
Yeah.
Those who didn't watch it, those of us that have been watching it, liked it already. But those that are new to it are going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to check this out. I remember when that was. And it's going to be better. It will be better this year, especially here in Kansas City and any of the towns where it was in your town. It won't be as cool as it is this year. But I think a lot of people will carry forward with it. But another reason why I think it will go to 64 is the ratings have been good, the games have been good. So why wouldn't you go ahead and say, okay? And to me, you can bring even more teams in, get even more television sets watching because their teams are like Italy's not paying as close of attention because they didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get a better chance to get all of them in, and then because they basically pool from. I can't remember what the numbers are, but if you at that point said, well, we're going to have 16, 1 through 16, they're going in 16 different spots. And 17 through 32, they're going in a different spot. You can basically get a first, a second, a third, and a fourth, and then it's up for you to push forward beyond your standing to do it. You largely guarantee that you get more games with more people watching, and then you get an even better chance, or maybe not an even better chance, but you still have a very good chance of advancing all your big boys.
Yeah.
Because if you end up with 16 different groups of 4 as opposed to right now having what? At 48 we have
12.
We have 12.
And then
so that means
24 and 8.
13, 14, 15, and 16 in the rankings are the 2 seed in their own pool.
Yes. The best 2s will become 1s. Some of the best and some of the best 3s will become 2s.
Yeah.
And you'll still have the same. It won't be a dilution of who goes in the round of 32. It might even be better.
So if what they're looking for is everybody to be in the game, Let's have them all play. But let's, maybe even a couple upsets here and there, but let's advance the big boys. That's going to help you advance the big boys.
Absolutely.
So,
and I do think that even though next in 2030 the viewership in America won't be as high as it is this year, I'd be willing to bet it'll be higher than it was 4 years ago because of the additional people who was like, you know what, it won't be as easy, but I liked what I saw last time, and I'm going to seek these games out. I'll figure out a way to watch these games. I don't know how much different it'll be, but it'll be more.
What is the time difference over to Portugal, Spain?
Probably 6 or 7 hours.
That's what I'm guessing too. So we'll be looking at, like, today. Our start times were what? Were they 11, 3, and 7, or were they noon, 3, and 7?
They were. Today was.
Can't remember.
11, 3, and 7.
So we'd be looking at 7, 11.
7 hours. Right now it's 9:18 in Madrid.
Okay, so 7 hours. So we'd be looking at 6 p. We'd be looking at
10 p.
And
then 2 a.
Yeah, that's doable.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to miss some of them,
yeah, but you'll want to be in prime time. One if you want to stay up and watch it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. 913-810-810, the phone number. I don't want to get too far behind. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll shift gears. We will talk some Royals baseball. Royals getting knocked around. A lot of people asking why Noah Cameron wasn't pulled. I guess I'm missing this massive depth of pitching that is available to the Kansas City Royals. We will talk about that. Also, want to talk about, as we look at it where we sit today, would they have been better in not making the playoffs in 24? How would it have been different if they didn't make the playoffs in 24? Could it have been better for the Royals long term if they didn't make the playoffs in 24? 913-810-810. You're in the program.
The program with Soren Petro.
I have a giant man crush on Vinny Pasquantino.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Of course you do, Jeff. Who doesn't? Let's talk about my friends at Applause Custom Sight and Sound, Kansas City's best when it comes to smart home technology, when it comes to in-home theaters. When I talk about smart home technology, how about something like, if you got that house that faces the west, and so when that afternoon sun comes over, it's just blasting through your windows. Maybe it's even bleaching out your carpet, bleaching out your furniture. They offer basically the smart home technology of like the awnings or the window shades that just automatically lower at the perfect time. They're pre-programmed based upon what time of year it is, always evolving, changing with the season, so that they lower down right when that sun's about ready to crest over the house and start blowing up and heating up your living room. Shades lower down. Keep everything nice and cool. Helps you save money on your energy bills. Helps save money on replacing furniture and carpet. Helps it just be more comfortable. That's true smart home technology. That's just one of the little nuances of things. You can integrate everything from your TV, your audio. It's really cool. We've got in almost all of the rooms of our house speakers recessed into the walls, so you don't even really see them. They're completely unobtrusive, but they're perfect. They give great surround sound wherever we are. So if we want to listen to our playlist, it's perfect. If we want to have a party, we can turn the music on in all the rooms in the house, all perfectly synced because it's all coming from the same source. How about surveillance and security? You want to know that your house is safe, right? You can see it right now. I open up my phone right now. I can see everywhere, all the way around the house, 360 degrees, and I get an alert anytime somebody comes on to our property. That's smart home technology as well. Rocket fast Wi-Fi all over your home, integrating everybody. You got people working from home now. You got kids trying to do things. Yep, that's part of the smart home technology as well. Listen, if you want a truly smart home, whether you're building new, renovating, or your home is already done, Applause Custom Sight and Sound is Kansas City's best. For more than 20 years, they've been giving people the cutting edge of technology with the best customer service and the best craftsmanship. So what are you waiting for? You want it? Go get it. Call Applause Custom Sight and Sound today. 913-498-1183. You can look them up on the web at applausetheater.com. Again, 913-498-1183. Tell them Petro sent you, or just find them on the web at applausetheater.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this World Soccer Update. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance makes bundling home and auto easy. Learn more at progressive.com.
You're listening to the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you for joining us here on a Wednesday, 9133-810-810. Let's talk some Royals baseball. Did not go their way yet again yesterday. Curtis, you were inundated, you said, by people complaining about why Cameron was left in?
I saw a couple people that were saying, well, Q just leaves his starters in there to get shelled. And
have they not seen the workload the bullpen has taken on here of late?
And also, did you not see the pitch-by-pitch sequence? I mean, to start the third, at the point where things began to fall apart, there was a 2 on and nobody out, and it was 1-0. One pitch was hit as a base hit that scored a run. 2 pitches later, a 3-run homer, and 1 pitch later, a solo homer. It went from 1-0 Royals to 5-1 Rays in the span of 4 pitches. You can't get, I mean, to get somebody in.
How'd you not get somebody up?
To get somebody in, you have to get them up and warmed. And you're not going to have a reliever up with no outs, up 1-0 in the third inning with Noah Cameron on the mound. He's not Steve Carlton, but that's not the guy. This isn't a bullpen day. You're thinking he's going to go 5-6 innings. You don't have a guy up there getting the guy hot to just waste him, and you can't. Otherwise, you can't get anyone in fast enough. That just the trouble jumped off too quick.
Listen, you're a fan. You can spout off whatever you want to your buddies, and
Yeah.
on social media and everything. Don't cost nothing.
Yeah,
have at it. If you call in here, I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm not here to tell you there aren't things that there are things that are very troubling to me.
Yeah.
And I have put it on the table. It's time to start evaluating, right? Where it's going right now, it's time to start taking a look at things. And I'm not there yet, and I don't think I'll be there yet at the end of this year. But there are some things, and I'm going to go to you here in a second, Bob. Bob wants to fire everyone, is what the subject says. I'm assuming we're talking Royals. I don't know. He might be us.
could be.
Oh, you 3 sons of
Fire everybody.
everybody. My shoes and my glasses.
Damn it.
So I do think, look, I do think that there's problems, right? And I think there needs to be some solutions presented. And I did not like what I heard yesterday from J.J. Piccolo. We may play some of that back here in a second. But I would caution that just creating things that aren't, like, why didn't you get Noah Cameron out of there? It just makes the management side dig in and be like, well, this is preposterous. Like, pointing out the things that are really problems.
Yes.
And having discussions about that as a fan base and on social media, I think that's correct. Listen, the ownership group of the Kansas City Royals lives here in town. They're not secluded in Bentonville. I was going to say hiding, but Mr. Glass wasn't hiding in Bentonville. He'd always lived in Bentonville. Yeah, but he was secluded in Bentonville. He did not hear the thoughts of the fans every day. Lots of the owners, minority owners, and John Sherman, too. I don't know how much he travels with his business affairs and what goes on, but he's very much here in Kansas City, reading the paper, listening to the radio, watching the TV. They've got a vibe. I know there are owners that listen to this radio show, right? So, like, they hear what you're saying, and while John Sherman has the ultimate say, they all have meetings at times, and it's kind of like, hey, John, what are we going to do? I mean, like, that message gets there. But if the message is like crazy talk, then they're going to dig in, right? And they probably should dig in and defend their own. If it's like, just something like this is the dumbest, lineup I've ever seen. Well, it's not. It's mathematically driven, and so they'll be like, yeah. Well, so why are we even listening to this foolishness? And they'll tune it all out.
And I've kind of felt that way for much of this year because I've spent so much of my replies on Twitter have been really unfair and almost borderline ridiculous shots at Matt Quatraro that I felt so compelled to defend that stupid stuff that it seems like I'm just an apologist, and I'm not. I'm not saying he's Sparky Anderson, but there's certain things I'm like, you can't win with that hand, and it makes it seem like I'm So to some extent, I'm sure there were legitimate
Well, I know
criticisms of his work that I probably should have addressed more directly, but I went, it seems like it's all piling on the same thing.
I know for a fact that he doesn't have Sparky Anderson's teams.
That's for sure.
This is not the Big Red Machine, nor is it the '84 Tigers.
No. And a moment last night, kind of an epiphany, was when I was sitting there at the ballpark, and I noticed that over in an inning and a half span, Connor Siebold, no relation, was replaced by Eric Sarantola, who was replaced by Beck Way. I thought that's not the chain of command, the chain of custody of a team that is legitimate, is prepared, has the roster to challenge for any kind of postseason success. When you have to go from those three guys, I'm like, there's no winning move
the idea
there.
of getting any of the starting pitchers out early. First of all, Luinder Avila's, inexperience, which leads to inability to go deep into games, is already handcuffing this team. They're still running a bullpen day every fifth day. Like, they're running their guys like only off days is saving you from seeing a bullpen day every fifth day.
Yeah.
Right? That bullpen is completely overtaxed. And they need length.
Yeah. When Steven Cruz goes an inning and a third in a bullpen day against the White Sox on Friday, and then Luinder Avila goes 4 innings in something it would amount to a bullpen day on Sunday, when Noah Cameron, even with the day off in between, goes 3 2/3, you can't. Nobody has a pen that can withstand that. And that was the problem. When Bobby Witt's home run, his first home run went from 6-1, 6-3, and you felt like the crowd's back into it. Maybe we're back.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
But you looked at who was
that and joy for my fantasy team.
True. And you looked and who was coming in.
Because I have Caminero and Bobby Witt.
Not bad. Good night for you.
Uh-huh.
And you looked and went, who's coming out of who's in the mound? There's no way the Rays are staying at 6. There's just no way. And they quickly got it back to 8. And so they got the 2 runs right back and more.
It became on Danny's scorecard, and so on, and so on. And listen, injuries being discussed. Injuries are, I don't want to say excuse, but are a bigger factor for the manager than they are the general manager.
Yes.
Because the general manager is the one that's in charge of having the backups
for the manager
that are ready to step in and give the manager a card to play. I will state we're still early in J.J. Piccolo's tenure, but we're getting later, right? We're getting closer to where there should be you should not be running 4 starters out there. You should have competent starting pitching in AAA that can step in and perform. And we really thought they did, right? But they've lost 3. Is it just 3? No, they've lost more than 3, right? Bubic, Reagans, Marsh, they wasn't even really on the radar screen, but he is out as well. I'm just looking at the Bubic, Reagans. It was Waka, Lugo, Cameron, Bubic, and Reagan. So 2 of them are down. First guy up was Bergert. He's out. Right now, Stephen Kolek's out on bereavement. Okay? And so, when those things happen, like, the manager's handcuffed unless there's another guy coming. Now, we're a couple years away from, or maybe a year and a half away from, hopefully Shields and Churio and Lumpkin being options for this team, but we're also a couple years away from, or months away from, Chris Bubic not being a member of this team, and we're months plus a year away from Lugo and Waka not being under contract for this team. I think there's an option on one of them. But, so, you've got to constantly be turning it over. The frustration with J.J. Piccolo, I think that's starting to grow because you are tapping your toes, but really it took a whole year, and it took getting to Brian Bridges to where they really have drafted pretty well the last couple of drafts and signed people. And the trades early were good. I mentioned this, and I'll say this, and then we'll go to Bob. 2024 really threaded a needle in the sense that they did a great job in the offseason of filling holes. Some of the young players started to mature, mainly Bobby Witt Jr. having an MVP caliber season. He became a star. And Vinny stayed healthy till the final month of the season. He stayed healthy long enough to put him right up against the playoffs. and they just had no injuries to their rotation. And so it was kind of this perfect storm, and they make the playoffs. And so now in their mind, they're not the team that lost 100 games the year before. That's a complete that afterthought. They're the playoff team. When in reality, they're still both. More of the most recent year than the one before, but bigger sample size, well, take both years. And you don't think of yourself as much. And so what do they do the next year in 25? They're kind of both years. More towards the playoff team. And to a degree, I think they might have even been better on paper because they won 82 games, only, 5 less? Or 4 less?
I thought they...
4 or 5. It was 86 or 87.
It was 86. It was 86.
86. Okay, so
four
then
fewer.
82 the next year, but with a lot of injuries. And so I do understand why they thought, oh, no, we're really pretty good. The mistake is, though, that they were not a great team. They started believing that they were a playoff team, and they started making moves like a playoff team. Had they not made the playoffs in 24, had they been running 9 games out and not in contention, would they have been fielding offers for a Seth Lugo? And let's say some key pieces still play. Obviously, if you're not as good record-wise, some of the guys I'm going to talk about trading obviously wouldn't have been playing as well. But if Lugo was still barreling towards finishing top 5 in the Cy Young, you could have gotten a lot for him.
Yeah.
And where would you be right now if you'd flipped him for 4 prospects? You said, we're doing pretty good, but we're really not this good because we lost 100 games, and I'm going to flip him the way they flipped Aroldis Chapman
For Cole
Reagans, and you might have 1 or 2 or 3 pieces. I mean, Jeff Passan sat here on Monday. If you missed that, don't. It's 5 o'clock hour on Monday.
Never miss Passan.
You can get it on the podcast at 810WHB.com or on the 810 app. And he talked about that the biggest reason the White Sox have rocketed forward is the deal they made with the Red Sox for Garrett Crochet.
Yep.
And that they basically have gotten 4 big leaguers. Now, those are just kind of once in a generation, maybe, or at least once in a GM tenure, that you trade one guy and come away with 4. But you should be able to trade one guy. It's kind of like when we talked about that 2018 draft. Okay, you took 5 pitchers. If you can get 1 frontline starter, like a good starter, 1 okay starter, like a 5th starter, and 1 good reliever, you've beat the odds out of those 5. And it's kind of like that when you do a trade. All right, if we can get 1 guy that's a stud, 1 guy that's usable, and 1 guy misses, and we got 3 guys, then you did pretty good in the trade.
They got 2 guys for Chapman, and it was Reagan's, and then it was a kid with a live bat that was way down.
Yeah.
One of the guys hit.
Yeah, they hit with Cole Reagans. And so I wonder if, and now when we hear what J.J. Piccolo said yesterday, well, we're not really looking to move pitching because we need him next year. Yeah, because next year you're a playoff team again? It's like, well, wait a minute. You are what your record says you are. You can believe you're better than 100 wins, but you don't get to beat your chest and be like, no, we're an 86-win playoff team, playoff series winner, and then be like, but these years don't count.
Yeah.
Like, you got to pick. How do we view this?
That was the real us.
Yeah. 913-810-810. Let's talk to Bob. You're on the program, Bob. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, thanks a lot. First of all, I don't want to get everybody fired. I just want Q fired. And the
Just
reason
Q.
why I say
Okay,
that-
not everyone. Just that guy.
Yeah, just that guy. Because the other day, that was an embarrassment when they lost 13-2 and then 22-1. That was an embarrassment to the city. That was an embarrassment to the players, an embarrassment to the owner that they should, still have him, as a manager. I think that was so complete. The team just, quit on him. The next day later, I don't even remember the situation. The Royals, were playing the outfield. It was bases loaded with no outs.
Mm-hmm.
They got 1 out on a strikeout. So
Didn't you already call and talk about this? About
No, I didn't. I haven't talked
about
to you
the
for a while,
infield
so,
being in?
No, and then on the second one, on 1 out, they should have played the infield back because that was a double play ball. The cube made them play in, and I didn't call before because I used to call you before.
Well, they played in. It was the bottom of the 9th, and a run beats you.
Yeah, but there was 1 out, and the ball that was hit, it was hit sharply. They couldn't field it with the infield in. So if they played the infield back with 1 out, they had a double play ball there. That was an easy double play. It would have been simple. It was hit to Bobby Witt, and that would have been. I don't know why they kept it in.
I think you're asking a guy to see into the future. It's a common practice to play the infield in.
If the ball's hit right at Bobby Witt and they get to 6-2-3 double play to end the inning,
they go home to first, and it's a double play that way because they cut down the lead, the run that's going to end the game first. I mean, I'm with you.
If you're playing back and you bobble and the guy beats the throw at first, you lose the game. Why didn't you go home? Why didn't you have the infield and go home?
Exactly.
Yeah, but otherwise, Q, I think that was just an embarrassment because you can't have your infielder pitch in 2 games in the same week.
Listen, I will not argue that it's an embarrassment getting your ass kicked the way they got their ass kicked, but you're reasoning on why that's Matt Quattro's fault. Like, he has a hand in it. They all do. Everybody in the organization does, from John Sherman all the way down. They all have a hand in it. Agreed. But how Matt Quatraro, this is the moment where it's like, this can't be tolerated from this guy. He didn't pitch. He didn't hit.
Yeah, but just the way, I think he's lost the team. And I don't think John Sherman wants to pay 2 managers at the same time. And that's, it all comes down to
let's let John Sherman be cheap before you call him cheap. There's been nothing about the John Sherman and the local ownership group that has been cheap. That's an unfair. Now you're just this is what I talk about, Bob. You're making some good points, but you basically just wipe them off the board when you pile on with other stuff that is superfluous or wrong or just hateful. Like what cheapness has John Sherman shown as the owner of the Kansas City Royals?
I'll ask you a question.
You answer my question first.
Okay, I will.
Where has he been cheap?
I agree. Yeah, he hasn't been cheap. As far as I think they should have gotten.
So then, why would you say that? I mean, you sat there on the phone and listened to me give the spiel that just making things up is counterproductive.
Well, no.
If change really needs to come, you need to talk about the reasons that change needs to come, not just be like, I'm pissed. So you know what? He sucks and he hates dogs. Goodbye. Like, that's just
he should have got an outfielder. He should have paid for an outfielder during the offseason.
Matt Quatraro should have. Quatraro should have. What, out of his own pocket?
No. Our owner should have made. That's what I'm saying. As far as Sherman, he should have spent money to get an outfielder.
Which one?
Our outfielder was the worst.
Which one?
Well, there was plenty out there during the free agency. Last year during the off season.
Okay, 2 years ago,
outfielder.
There was all kinds of guys, and everybody wanted
Santander.
Anthony Santander. He got $23 million a year. The Royals offered him upwards of $20 million, and he's done nothing but suck. So sometimes, Bob, the best move you make is the one you don't make. Listen, their outfield, and this is my point. Your point about the outfield is subpar, and we're getting very close, if we haven't already arrived, that it's unacceptable for the outfield to not be better at this, at this point in J.J. Piccolo's career. That's a fair point, okay? That is a fair point. But to say John Sherman didn't buy an outfielder last year, that's ridiculous. He hires J.J. Piccolo. He gives him a budget. The budget has to go get spent. To say, well, they should have flipped, Seth Lugo last year when they weren't doing well, and you wouldn't have his $23 million on the books, and that money could have been spent on an outfielder, and that would have been a better way for the resources. That would be fair criticism. I would also say that they are dying for pitching right now, and they would be even thinner at that point. So, Bob, look, frustration, there's reason to be frustrated. The team is disappointing this year, very disappointing from what the expectations are, and they're barreling towards their third year or a second year in a row where the win total is decreasing. The arrow is pointing in the wrong direction. They also have taken on massive amounts of injuries. Now, I don't like hearing that when we're talking about Cole Reagans, Chris Bubich, and Vinny Pasquantino. I'll listen to it about Michael Garcia, but the other three have been oft injured their entire career. I know Vinny hates that. I know. I've talked to him directly about it. He hates it. And I think it's entirely possible he's just the most unlucky guy on earth. But as a general manager, I'm not in the luck game. I'm in the math game. And the math game is Vinny Pasquantino has had to battle through numerous injuries throughout his entire career. There is no reason to look at Vinny Pasquantino and go, well, once he gets back from this one, he's going to play 155 a year every year till he's 40. You're a dumbass if that's your view of that. Just like you're a dumbass if you think Cole Reagans is going to make 32 starts every year for the rest of his career. Okay? And Chris Bubich, I even said this to Jeff Passan. I said, well, Bubich Who knows if Bubich is going to be back? He goes, Bubich will be back. I go, you sure? He goes, yeah. Well, what do we hear today?
And now he's been, the Royals just announced they've made moves within the last 15 or 20 minutes. He's been transferred to the 60-day injured list.
He's done.
He's done.
He's done.
Yeah.
So, look, this is why I bring up what is a relevant conversation, Bob, and that is, did they make the mistake in 24? Was 24, and maybe they didn't even make a mistake. Did 24 just kill their ability to see accurately the directions they should have gone? That the Lugos and the Wakas should have been used like Aroldis Chapman was used to flip for as much talent as they could as soon as they maximize their value, because J.J. Picollo has proven to be a pretty good trader. I mean, what's Angel Zerpa doing in Milwaukee right now? And Isaac Collins ain't Barry Bonds, but he's your best outfielder. And so, and Brady Singer had a minute last year, but he sucks this year. And so the India is kind of like, I don't want my guy. You don't want your guy. Here we go. And for a year, India gave him something. I know it's disappointing, but he was better than what they had.
Yeah.
And so overall, the tradings have been good. The draft picks have been good. Jack Cagliano's already here and looking like going to be a fearsome slugger. And he's already in the big leagues. The early draft picks of the last couple of years are all doing very well, except for the one of the two. Yeah, which one's the bad one?
Sean Gamble. That's it.
Sean Gamble's. He's the bad one, right?
Yeah, he's got off to a slow start for sure.
Yeah. The other kid's doing well and is going to probably move into the top 100 prospects.
Josh Hammond, yeah.
Josh Hammond. So, and Lumpkin is already at AA as a starting pitcher. So, like, the idea that's my point is, like, you have to take the whole thing. If in 24 they'd come up, been 75-ish wins, and they'd have looked at it along the way and been like, okay, we got this big offer for Seth Lugo. We're going to take it. And now you had a starter and a starting center fielder that you got from that deal, one of them that's here and one of them that's knocking on the door, putting up big numbers at AAA. Like, your job is to see over the horizon, and you're in the get-it-right business. I will not excuse J.J. Picollo from what their record is today. He is the general manager of a team that's barreling towards nearly 100 losses. Okay, that's a fact. But also on his resume is the playoff season from 2 years ago, is a winning season last year, are smart trades, are good draft picks, is some good development. That's all there. That's all part of it as well. That's why it's not as easy as us fans, because you fire somebody and they end up being good. Listen, I took phone call after phone call after phone call in 2015 in the early weeks of the season about why the blank is Andy Reid still the coach of this team. His team had gone from 7-3 to 9-7 the year before and missed the playoffs, and he opened the year 1-5. And when they went to Detroit in Europe, we were talking about Andy Reid being fired, or when they went to Europe to play Detroit.
Yeah.
We were talking about Andy Reid being fired because it was, he started 9-0, but he finished 2-5 and then a playoff loss. So that's 2-6. Then he went 9-7. So that's 11-13. And now he's 1-5. So he's 12-8, or he's 0-5. Was he 0-5? He's 1-5.
1-5.
So now I lost track. Now he's 13-18. Yeah. That's who Andy Reid is. And if you throw in his last year in Philadelphia, this guy sucks. And that was the hot take.
Yes, and that was a hot take during a World Series run.
Yes.
People were still talking about
Andy Reid sucks. He's got to go. I don't know why they're not firing this guy. He's a bum. 5 conference championships and 3 Super Bowls later. You're in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Petro Siebel Collier taking your phone calls here on a sticky Wednesday, 913-3810810. Let's talk to our friend Vicky. You're in the program, Vicky. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
I love you. I love you both. But more importantly, I respect you both, and I respect the kind of guests you have on the show. So I also love the first caller. He exhibited every foolish fan trait that there is possible to have. An absolute demand for perfection without understanding how to create it, and the desire to scapegoat somebody. So I just think it's so entertaining. And I think that what you guys should do is have an educational portion of each show to try to tell people to at least step back from their fandom, taken from the word fanatic, and have an understanding of how unreasonable it is to ask one human being to be totally responsible for a team sport that they're not playing, i.e. Quatrero and Andy Reid, and understand the dynamics of the functionality of the entire team concept, wherein people pick players, they make bets on them. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. But I don't understand the need to scapegoat from a fan's perspective. And perhaps you can educate me on why that's necessary.
Vicky, well, it's not necessary, but I think we all, I talk about it a lot. We all want success, right? And when we're not getting what we want to find one simple reason as to why it's not happening so that we can say, if we change that one thing, then it's all fixed. Right? And so that's where the manager in baseball, and more it's becoming the general manager, because the general manager actually probably has more impact, definitely has more impact on the big picture of things. But the manager is traditionally the guy that you go to, and it's like, well, change something. And it's why I use the phrase, and have for 30 years, if not him, then who? Right? If it's not him, then who? Now, that's a phrase, and I would say that about Matt Quatrero. I haven't even said it yet because I don't think it's even a possibility this year. J.J. Piccolo said as much in his little Q&A with the media with Todd Lebo yesterday, and so I don't even really feel the need to entertain it. He was just given a contract extension. I don't think they're going to blow him up. When he hadn't even gotten to the extension part. This is the last year of his deal. The extension part starts next year, so I don't even think they're going to. I don't even think it's a consideration this year. Now, I do think you can get to a point that if not him, then who? When the answer from all your fan base is anybody, then you've got problems. We're not at anybody, and I think it is possible, depending on how they finish this year, that Matt Quatrero may go into next year with a warm or hot seat. I don't think that's a given right now. If they can get some people back, play some better baseball, then they can get there. But listen, and Vicky, I also want to say, there are some things that don't look the way you'd like them to look either.
I agree with that. I mean, I think there are questions about motivation and stuff. But again, as a person who loves baseball and I like football and want to watch teams play, I don't have a need for that to be the hill on which I die. And I feel like a lot of fans make that the hill upon which they wish to give up their life or the life of someone else.
Yeah, that's true. Vicky, thank you for the call. I appreciate it, dear. Always good to hear from you.
Let me say, she complimented us and the guests. Our callers are awesome, too.
Yeah.
And that is one of the best setups I've ever heard for a really thoughtful question. So, Vicky,
yeah,
nice work.
I also will say that Bob is a passionate fan that cares about the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah.
And we just disagree with some things. I do think he's fundamentally wrong. And
when Bob stops calling, that's when you have a problem.
That's when you have a problem, when they stop caring. And I second your thoughts on our callers. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll play the feud. We'll need a contestant.
All right, the Royals invited Judy Manning to Kauffman Stadium last night to honor the legacy of her late husband, Shannon. What did Shannon Manning do? Brought to you by Twin Peaks. Nice.
Right there.
It's actually not worse, Shane.
Don't. It's not worse. Actually, if you would take it and throw it off the, what is that? Patio?
Balcony.
Yeah, balcony.
Balcony makes it sound like we're in like the 58th floor, the
second
Union
floor
Broadcast
balcony.
Tower.
Yep.
Yeah.
The reason why that's not worse is because before
didn't work.
people might look at it and go, "Is that the time?" Now I'd look at it and go,
We're
"There's
talking
no
about a
limits."
clock. Do you
Yes.
realize? I think I asked for these when I was running Jason's show, so that tells you how well
Yes.
it's lasted.
At 3:02, the clock said 2:53. For those
Now it
wondering.
says
And
12:01
now it says 12:01. So at least people will look at that and go,
And it's got new
"No way.
batteries.
No way."
Wasted new batteries.
It'll
keep me busy.
It is the program. We need a contestant to play the feud. 913-3810810. You get a $25 gift card to Nick and Jake's. Don't get better than that. That's right. Right to Nick and Jake's you go. But if you can win the feud, Kevin Timmons will bump that to $40. 913-3810810 to play the feud. Petro, Siebel, Collier, Shane Summers in here. So I don't know, Shane, did we beef things up with you or slow it down compared to having Todd Lebo as one of the options to play the feud?
I think you probably slowed it down, but I can
Really?
I can do some damage here and there, as long as it's NHL questions from 2010.
It's your self-confidence.
Oh, I'm beaming with it, aren't I?
You're going to put that
Listen,
clock down at some point.
If
aren't
you
I
don't,
got it.
if you don't put it down, I'm going to embed it in an
Okay.
orifice
Put it
in
back
your
over there.
body.
I got it from 9 minutes to 4
See,
minutes.
now it's even worse because now people will think it's close, and it's 4 minutes off. So
It's
It was
always
better
4
when it
minutes
said-
off. That's
it
why.
was 9 minutes off
That's
earlier.
why some of us bring
Yes.
our burner phone and use it as a clock.
It was 9 minutes off earlier. That's why I said at 12:02 you look at it and go, "That thing's broken." 3:02 you might go, "Is that accurate?"
Now
The further away from the actual time it is, the more
you know what?
you know it's wrong.
Sum up my time here at 8:10 in one way.
That would
was
be it.
probably
In
like-
one way, what would
it
I? What
would
would
be
I?
that he tried to make it
He
better,
tried but failed.
but somehow he made it worse.
You're so self-aware.
I mean, that's
You're so
pretty much what
self-aware.
it
I love
is.
Here lies Shane
love it.
Summers. He tried to make it better, but he only made it worse.
But alas,
My wife's side of the family, her uncles always say, "You know, Shane, you're nothing but a trier. You sure do try." So,
is that right?
yeah, they do it in fun, but yeah,
Okay.
you know what? It makes sense. I'm
Did
a good
anybody
trier.
tell you to say there is no try? Do
Yeah.
or do not.
Do or do
Yeah.
not.
The wow, I might slap whoever told me that.
Nah, that's our relationship though. It's a good. It's a good uncle vibe. So,
Good is he? Yeah, he's a multi-billionaire, huge
No,
success beyond
no.
reproach.
Hoping to be
No, he just
in the
likes
will.
to give me crap.
I can like that guy.
Be nice to Uncle Fred. He's 85 and is worth $200 million.
Yeah. We ready to play, boys?
Yes.
I think
All right.
so.
We have a contestant.
Let me
That
check the clock and
contestant
see.
has a name. His name is Christopher. Christopher, how are you, my friend?
Excellent. How are you guys?
We're doing great. You no doubt have heard the feud. You know you have a choice to make. Todd Lebo out today, so you've got to pick between me, Curtis, and Sugar Shane Summers.
Sugar Shane.
Sugar
Excuse me?
Shane.
It's like the
Alright.
second time.
Straight out of
somebody-
the gates.
somebody picked me.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right. Do you guys want to pick which order you're going first, or do you want us to pick our order first?
You can go ahead and pick.
All right, Curtis, first or
Yeah,
second?
exactly.
I'll go first.
Okay, Curtis will go first. I will go second. Choose your poison.
Christopher, do you want to go first, or what do you want to do? You pick. You're the.
You want to play against Curtis or me?
I'll defer. I'll defer.
I'll go first.
Oh, there it is. Shane wants
All
no part of
right.
me is what I heard right there, Christopher. So you get the buzzsaw, buddy.
Well, I'll go second then. I didn't know. I forgot honestly who went.
You'll have a
first
better
and who
chance
went
of getting the control of the board if you go first. Because I almost never win the
second.
jump.
I'll go first. I said it first. You know,
Oh, my.
Did you already change
Shane's
it?
going first. Shane's
Shane,
go-
this is why you're my third stringer. In this.
Yeah,
Shane, this
exactly.
is why you try but fail.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, give me Shane. Give me Curtis.
Here we go.
7 answers on the board. Name me a product or a company that Shaq has advertised for.
Curtis.
I think that was Curtis.
Oh, my God.
Icy hot.
Icy Hot number 3 on the list. Shane, can you beat that?
I'm going to say the General.
Number 1. Pass or play?
Damn.
We'll play.
Nice.
So I was going, okay, you're going to play, Christopher. You and Shane, you're up. You're up.
You got anything?
So what was the second one?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
bring the music down so he can. He can.
Good call. We have number 1 off the board, the General Insurance. Number 3 is Icy Hot.
And the question was?
Name a product or company that Shaq advertises for.
Let's do some Papa John.
Number 2, Papa John's.
There you go.
I know he used to be, and this is where I'm going to screw this up. Reebok?
Number 5.
Oh, thank God. Good call. I have nothing now.
Yeah. Is TNT Sports an answer?
It is not. Was that
Man.
your answer? 'Cause that just struck you.
Well, I was joking, but no, that's as good as I can get right now. Yeah,
All right. Strike one.
without delaying installing.
I'm not positive on this one, but I'm also think I'm out. So, does he do Dr. Scholl's?
He
like some-
does, but it's not on my list.
Oh, at least I was right.
What's the ding for then?
I thought
My
it was
bad.
right.
Misclick.
Fat
Misclick.
finger?
That's 2 strikes.
Come on,
Back
man.
over to Christopher.
Come on, man.
Don't worry, Christopher. I got nothing.
Man, I really.
I've got lots of products, Christopher. Lots of products.
Come on, some more.
Shaquille
Some
O'Neal.
stuff.
Crisco for his head.
How about we do some Boston Market?
That's Carlos Beltran.
Did he really?
No,
Oh.
I remember he said it in the Royals yearbook one year. It was his favorite.
That was his
KC
favorite
restaurant,
KC
Boston
restaurant.
Market.
Yeah. It's also when he was getting ready to head out, and I'm like, yeah, what do you think about saying? He said, not a lot of Puerto Rican culture. Like, there's no restaurants.
Yeah, right.
Boston Market was your favorite. Yeah, I got that figured out.
That's strike 3 over to Curtis and Seren. Looking for
man.
number 4, 6, and 7.
4, 6, there's
can't
7.
think of
I have
anything.
written down. Was there a soda he did, Pepsi or Coke or?
I think
Do
he
anything
might have
like
been a
that?
Pepsi guy.
I had
know.
Pepsi is what I wrote down, and I wrote down Capital One because didn't they finally add him to the whole Barkley and
I
and
think so, and
Samuel L. Jackson
Yeah.
and. But what else?
I know he once told a story about Walmart, but I don't know if he actually did
No, I
commercial
don't-
Walmart. I don't either. So I Capital One's pretty good. That's the one I can think of. That,
All
that
right.
might get a
Might get
vote
a
even if
7th
it
or
was
something.
wrong, yeah.
We'll try Capital One.
It is not Capital One. That's going to be 85 points. Over to Shane and Christopher. The ones you missed. Number 4, Gold Bond.
Oh God.
Number 6, Buick. Number 7, Pepsi.
Was Pepsi.
Didn't Barkley
kind of
challenge
Buick
him
did
to
he pick
getting
up, by
into
the
a
way?
Buick or something?
Yeah,
Or
that's right.
something?
I remember there was a car one. I couldn't
Yeah,
remember.
I couldn't remember
The only
either.
way he can get in a Buick is to
You know-
rub Gold Bond on himself.
Yeah, okay.
As we were doing this and we were out, I was like, he did Taco Bell. Because remember his old commercials where he had taco neck syndrome? Do you remember those commercials?
No.
He's the one.
That.
Oh
You
yeah,
really?
yeah,
Wow.
he did, didn't he?
Yeah,
Wow.
it was his joke where he had to bend over.
Yeah,
and, like
to
that's
turn
what. And
sideways.
it also was going to make him make free throws. It was pretty dumb.
Gold Bond,
Pepsi. and
or no,
Buick.
Gold Bond, Capital One, and what was the other one? Buick?
It was not Capital One. It was
Buick and Pepsi.
Pepsi, Buick, and Gold Bond.
Oh, so Pepsi was one?
yeah.
Ah, for God's sake.
Capital
we both-
One, they
God.
started-
Ah, well.
They added Spike Lee, I think, recently, and it's Charles.
Spike Lee's always been there.
but it's Charles and
Samuel
they-
L. Jackson and Spike
and
Lee.
Jennifer Garner.
And Jennifer Garner now.
Yeah. But I don't remember Shaq being added.
Okay, we got it. You
You're
got
wrong.
the points.
Again, trying to make it better.
Right, gonna make it. Shane tried hard, tried to make it better,
Stop.
but failed, and then was a Richard about it too.
I'm in your head now.
The lesson, stop trying.
Okay, done.
All right, give me
Or
Seren
cry
and
more.
give
Or
me
cry more.
Yeah, there you go. Cry more. Yeah, good call.
Christopher. Let's test your buzzer real quick.
Christopher.
Okay.
All right.
That's
Give me
close.
Seren. Give me Christopher. 7 answers on the board. Other than the current one. Name me a Royals manager.
Petro.
Seren.
I am gonna go with Dick Hauser.
Number 2,
I know.
Christopher.
I
Can
knew
you
it
beat him?
right as I said it.
Some Ned Yost.
Yeah.
Number 1, pass or play.
I thought, either
What
one.
do you think, Shane?
Let's
What
play
do we
it.
do here, man?
Let's absolutely play it.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's go.
Is it me then?
It
Right.
is.
Let's go Whitey Herzog.
Number 3.
Buddy Bell.
Number 4.
Tony Pena.
Number 5.
Let's do some Hillman.
One more time.
Trey Hillman.
Strike one, did not make it.
Let's do Hal McRae.
Strike two, did not make it.
Well, I'm tired of this entire situ blankuation.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
All those guys, huh? What's been named off now? I did Buddy Bell and somebody did what was the
I'll tell you. Ready? Ned
yes,
Yost,
sir.
number 1. 2, Dick Hauser. Number 3, Whitey Herzog. 4, Buddy Bell. 5, Tony Pena.
How many more are there?
named up?
There are 6 and 7.
Ooh. Oh Lord. Damn. See, we got.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gosh. I'm thinking of the guy, the whiskey and cookies guy. God dang it. Okay.
Okay.
That's going to be a strike.
Well, how many is that? 2 or 3?
I believe that's 3.
Okay. Tony Muser was who he was trying to think
Yeah.
of there. John Watson, Gardner, Fry.
Mike Matheny. I mean, for recency
Matheny,
bias,
yeah.
I've got Matheny is the most recent, and Jim Fry is the only postseason manager that hasn't been
I don't
named
think
yet.
Jim Fry is going to be there.
Probably not. He was here so short. But Mike Matheny was just here 4 years ago.
Was Hal on there?
Yeah, I forgot.
I said
Hal got a strike, so there's no
yeah.
way Duke's going to get it.
Yeah.
So I think we go recent. I think it's Muser or Matheny.
I think,
pick.
I think it's Matheny.
Okay.
Mike Matheny, number
We're going to go with
6.
Matheny.
The one
Damn.
you missed, Tony Muser.
Tony Muser, okay.
Yeah,
So we had it there. We had it
either way.
figured out.
That's 95 points.
95. 95, Shane.
They have the guys that pound tequila.
95,
tequila.
Shane.
Yeah, not whiskey. Oh yeah, hell
Pound
yeah.
tequila, not milk and cookies.
All right, we are back to Curtis and Shane.
All right.
6 answers on the board, sticking with the Royals. Name me a Royals closer.
Shane.
Curtis.
Let's go, Shane.
Greg Holland.
Holland, number 4.
I'm going to go Wade Davis.
Number 1, pass or play.
We got to
Play. Yep. Play.
Well, I'm going to take somebody's better damn well do it. I'm going to take Jeff Montgomery.
Number 5.
I'll take Dan Quisenberry.
Number 3.
All right, so what do we have now?
1, 3, 4, and 5. Looking for 2 and 6.
Well, he didn't do it for very long, but he was part of the group. We've already had 2 of them, right? So I'll say Herrera.
D, you're right one.
Joaquim Soria.
Soria, number 2.
So now all that's out there is 6? God, I got a number of different names here. God, what was... I'm trying to think of this one guy's name. Oh, for God's sake. Well, I'm going to go just past or present, you said?
Just name a Royals closer.
Carlos Estevez. You've got to be kidding me.
D, you're right 2.
Led the league in saves last year.
Yeah.
Not on the list.
I had it written down. The only one other one I can think of, he wasn't here very long, and it was a long time ago, but we talk about him a lot. Al Roboski.
No. He didn't even really close.
78 he did. Al Roboski?
Oh, I didn't know that was your answer. No.
Yeah. I can't think of anybody else.
I was
Strike
hoping
3.
it wasn't. Trust me.
I can't think of anybody else.
I've got several.
Chris,
Over to Shane and
I
Christopher.
got 2 written down, but the Urseg one scares me, or Estevez, because I thought Urseg or Jonathan Broxton was here like 14 years ago and was a better closer.
I actually was
elsewhere.
thinking about Jonathan Brockman as well.
You want to go with Broxton? We can go with it if you want to go with it. It's your call.
I can't
just
think of
thought my
anybody
guy.
else. That's the only name I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, let's go Broxton then.
Okay. Is it? Here's what I want to know. I have written down Ricky Blotalico, Hernandez, Roberto Hernandez, Jonathan Broxton, Kyle Farnsworth, but Mike McDougal is the one I think it's going to be.
All-star.
The one you missed, Mike McDougal.
Ah, nice.
Mike McDougal.
Could
That's
not
right.
think of his damn name when I was my
The
turn.
guy who couldn't keep his
That
hat
is
on.
95 points to
95? Okay. Yep. Still a viable contest, Shane. Yeah, like if you get beat up in this competition, is your uncle going to crap on you? Will your daughters
No,
speak to you when you get
He's gonna
home?
crap on me. I didn't get Tony Muser. I knew everything except for this drink and his name, But of course, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
No, that's
What
right.
Meatloaf said.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go.
All right, give me Seren, give me Christopher.
Okay.
7 answers on the board. I'm reusing the question, but the results were different this time around. Name your least favorite New York Yankee.
Christopher.
Christopher.
We're gonna go with some Jazz Chisholm.
Chisholm on the board at number 6.
Oh, wow. Least favorite Yankee. Man, they could go just so many directions to go with that. Goose Gossage. Not
Did
even
not
on
make
board.
it.
All right, so they got it.
Shane, pass or play.
We'll play A-Rod.
Alex Rodriguez, number 2.
Oh, wow.
Derek Jeter.
Jeter, number 1.
I hated this guy, so we'll see if it's Paul O'Neill.
Paul O'Neill, not on the
What did he ever
list.
do to you?
Strike 1.
Was a Yankee.
That's true.
Let's go with some Roger Clemens.
Ooh, I had him
Oh,
Oh
down.
strike
no,
2.
man, this
Yeah,
might
him
be
down.
harder than we think.
I mean, hopefully low-hanging fruit Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson, number 5.
I'm gonna blow it.
I hope not, because it'll be
Alfonso
fun to
Sor-
watch Shane fail again.
Soriano, Alfonso Soriano.
Strike 3. Over to Seren and Curtis.
Reggie was the last one I had that I thought
I
was
know, that
of
was
the old
strong.
crew.
I'm looking for 3, 4, and 7.
3, 4, and 7. Well, give me what do we had?
Number 1, Jeter. Number 2, A-Rod. Number 5, Reggie Jackson. Number 6, Jazz Chisholm.
Posada, Mariano
yeah.
Rivera,
Yeah, Rivera. Rivera's pretty good. I thought
Mike
Bernie
Mussina.
Williams.
Or we could sit here and rattle off here.
Rivera's
Babe Ruth, that
Rivera.
son of a.
Rivera's pretty good. I mean, but they were never not really competitive.
You want to go?
Might as well go with Rivera. I mean, he's the most notable name. We got 4 possibilities. He's got to be on there somewhere, didn't he?
We're going to say Mariano Rivera.
Oh my goodness!
God.
Oh,
Wow!
Shouldn't
How?
have.
I can't wait to hear
Shouldn't
this.
have. Let me total all this up. That's only going to be 70 for Shane and Christopher.
That's still a good
What?
total.
But the ones you missed. Number 3, Robbie Cano.
Oh, how do we miss
for
Robinson
God's
Cano?
Ooh, yes. How did we forget that?
How is he
did-
not number 1?
I don't know.
Number 4, as he's known around the Collier household, Greg Effin Nettles.
Number
Number
Been in
7,
a fight with Brett, yeah.
number 7, Aaron Judge.
Oh, man, we should just go on
We-
here.
we-
and pass it.
Okay,
we
yeah,
failed
that
that
would've
one.
been-
Wow, that was a dismal failure.
We sucked.
All right, I believe we're back to Curtis and Shane.
All right, Curtis,
Oh, goody.
one time in your life.
One time.
All right, I
One
got
time, baby.
7 answers on the board. Name me a professional sports team named after an animal.
Curtis.
Curtis?
The Tigers?
The
Oh, Detroit Tigers?
Tigers, number 2.
Okay.
Not
Do you
a
have to have
bird.
the city or?
Not a bird, just an animal. No, not
Oh,
the
no
city.
birds.
No.
That's
'Cause
an important
I had
distinction to
an
make.
old category. Name a team after a bird.
But you need the city as well?
No.
Okay.
You
No.
just gave me Tigers. That knocks out all the Tigers.
Is that number 1?
That is number 2.
Okay, so Shane.
Lions.
Lions, number 3.
Well, we'll play, right?
Let's play.
Obviously, the Bears are next.
Bears, number 1.
Broncos. Interesting.
D-Reich 1.
Wow.
Where to go here? I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
Dolphins, number 7.
Colts.
D-Reich
Staying
2.
away from that animal.
Um,
Probably horses. They're not popular.
Give me the God. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
That's what she said.
I have a wonder if, like, nice work.
That's great.
Why? I wonder if there's a clarification.
You can't do that. You're throwing me off my think train here, you jackass.
It's all good.
I will go with the. Keep coming to birds. I'm literally bulls.
The Bulls, number 5.
just landed on me. I'm like thunder bulls.
Are all variations of tigers?
Yes,
out?
He said all tigers.
All tigers.
Why did you name another horse?
I was thinking of saying Bengals, but if tigers are out, then I can't say Bengals.
That's right. That's like when he said that's all tigers.
Why don't you shut up, Shane? Hey, shut up. Panthers?
The Panthers, number 6.
Oh my God.
That was a Hail Mary.
Well, that
Looking
gave me
for the
another
last
one, but
answer at number 4. I'll go ahead and I know you're going to ask, so I'll read what we've got.
yeah.
Bears, Tigers, Lions,
Oh, my.
Bulls, Panthers, and Dolphins.
Am I missing some kind of? Because I've got one, but I'm going to try to think of a better one. All right, just in the interest of time, I'll take the Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Please say
number
Jaguars.
4.
Please say Jaguars.
That's the full 100.
Wow.
That's the full one. Hold on.
That's a dub.
Hold your tickets. Hold your tickets. I've got to add. Oh, nope, that's enough.
Barely.
290 to 155. Christopher, I am sorry, but you chose poorly
Man, I
in
should've
choosing
tried for you,
Shane.
Christopher.
He tried, but he failed.
Tried.
What do you have to say
Hey,
for yourself?
There is no try. You do or you do not.
Thank
I
you.
did not.
And you're even a Star Wars nerd, so you know better than that. Come
I
on,
did.
Shane. Christopher, hey, we appreciate you playing. You did a great job. Sorry about your lame partner, but you're still going to get a $25 gift card to Nick and Jake's, my friend.
Oh, I am a winner.
You
Yay.
are a winner. Yes, you are. Hold on. We'll get some information. Christopher gets to go to Nick and Jake, 3 locations, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. nickandjakes.com. We've got all kinds of great seasonal items. Always a special menu going on. Everything made from scratch. Great place to grab a beer with friends and watch a game, or to take the whole family out and grab a great dinner. It's Nick and Jake's. Find them online at nickandjakes.com.
The program with Soren Petro.
Let me see if I can jump into the middle of a three-way and make that happen.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, listen up. It is a big holiday weekend. Are you ready for the 4th of July? 250 years. You got to get the grill going, right? That means a trip to your neighborhood hen house. Nobody gets you started on the grill like Hen House. USDA Choice Certified Hereford beef, the finest beef raised anywhere around, right in our very own backyards. That's at your neighborhood hen house. Right now, you can get the fresh 85% lean ground beef, ground fresh several times each day. That's just $6.99 a pound. How about some steaks? Curtis, you want a ribeye?
Yes.
Yes, you do. I know you love the ribeye. Boneless ribeye steaks, 12 ounces. They're just $15 each. What are you going to have with it? Corn on the cob, of course. Peaches and cream sweet corn. That's just $3.98 for a 4-pack. What are you waiting on? Watermelon. They've got the whole seedless watermelons, $4.98 each, and they are absolutely delightful. Did you know that more than 70% of Hen House's produce is raised within a couple hundred miles on local family-owned farms? It's miles of freshness. You'll taste the difference. Plus, there's all kinds of great specials at the middle of the store, too, and all the freezer counters. Go to henhouse.com to see all these specials. Like farmland bacon, selected variety, 16-ounce, just $6.49. You're going to have to get up the next day, aren't you? Everybody's going to want some bacon on that. So take advantage of it. Get to your neighborhood hen house. Go to henhouse.com right now and check out all kinds of great specials. Full slab of St. Louis-style ribs, $17.99. Get the smoker going. The delicatessen, they're ready with party trays, sure. The bakery's ready with cakes, pies, whatever you might need. Maybe some bagels for in the morning. Their bagels are absolutely wonderful. Check out their muffins as well. All of Hen House is ready for you here on this big 4th of July weekend. You can't start better than getting to your neighborhood hen house. Find all these specials and more at henhouse.com.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
This is where your fourth starts. Blue Springs. Stop by the Blue Springs fireworks stand at Cornerstone Church and take advantage of special savings all week long. Don't wait. Inventory is moving fast. Visit us at 301 Southeast AA Highway in Blue Springs.
Hey, it's Matt Beasler with a soccer update brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. The U.S. won Group D and are on to the knockout round where they'll face Bosnia on Wednesday night. Bosnia secured their spot in the round of 32 with a 3-1 win over Qatar in a must-win final match for them. The United States will be a heavy favorite. Currently ranked 14th in the FIFA World Rankings, Bosnia is ranked 62nd. For the U.S., we couldn't ask for much more, as the group was locked up after the second game. Mauricio Pochettino, he was able to rotate the squad and reset all of his players on yellow cards. And the squad is about as rested and as healthy as one could hope for up until this point. All that said, from here on out, it is one and done, so there's no room to look past any opponent. This soccer update has been brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefitofblue for more information.
All right, the Twin Peaks, end of the hour answer. I haven't heard this song in a while. The Royals invited Judy Manning to Kauffman Stadium last night to honor the legacy of her late husband, Shannon. What did Shannon Manning do?
I have no idea. I don't know. He designed the Royals logo. Did I get it?
Yes.
I did?
You did.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah. I didn't know. You told me. I was like, I have no idea. How am I supposed to get it? I thought I'd just play that off like
In 1967.
We never lie.
No, we don't lie.
There are times that I know the answer, but I go through all the guesses I went through in guessing during the break.
Yep.
So I did not get that. I had absolutely no idea. I just thought it'd be funny to do that to Curtis. Have him sit there and wonder, are you going to actually act like you knew that?
In 1967, Ewing Kauffman went to Hallmark and asked their design team to create what he called a lasting emblem for the team. And out of about
they did
20 submissions, Shannon Manning's crown logo was chosen. And his wife, Judy, he passed away 4 years ago. His widow, Judy,
Really?
and
Just
his
4
two
years?
daughters
Okay. That's awesome. With the
went
game
out
last
to the
night?
mound last night, and they were honored for creating the logo that basically, imagine designing something, and that thing we're 60 years later, and the crown, everything they've done is that crown that Shannon Manning designed, a name that almost no one knows, very few people know, but someone should know, because every time you look at that crown, that was someone sat in a room with a pen and a pencil and an idea and an imagination, and it came up with a logo that's been that franchise's core identification since it's been around.
I think the Manning family, and I'm sure they are incredibly proud, should be so impressed and so proud of that, because how many people in a marketing industry nail something so well that here we sit. What, he would have designed that in 69, 68, 67? It's 67, so here we sit almost 60 years later, and when early renderings of the new stadium came out, people are like, where is the crown?
Yes.
They are so passionate about the logo that he drew that they are upset and voicing their displeasure at the fact that that logo is not incorporated better into the designs of the stadium.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
And a tip of the cap to friends, KSHB 41 news reporter Ryan Gamboa. He first told the story about this back in April, and the Royals saw it and heard the response to it, and they went out and found Judy Manning, and that story came out. And last night, she and her daughters got to stand in the place where the crown was first made its appearance, and hear the roar of the crowd, and it's a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, that's
very cool moment.
That's fantastic.
So write that name down, Shannon Manning.
Shannon Manning. Well done. That's very impressive. It is time now for a little Lebo Sounds without Todd Lebo. Brought to you by our friends at Family Leisure, K10 and Ridgeview. You know, I was checking in with Dennis, and turns out that happiest day ever to sponsor Lebo Sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Without Todd Lebo.
Well, yeah.
Just like Todd gets in the way.
Sounds.
He did provide the sound this time. He's just not here to analyze.
He's just not here to analyze it. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. They're big fans. Who's not a big fan of Todd Lebo? Lebo's the best.
I'll tell you who, Vicky.
Vicky doesn't like Todd?
The one that loves college basketball.
Yeah. Oh, that's
can't stand Todd Lebo. She called
not
me
the Vicky who called earlier, the other Vicky.
No, the other Vicky. She called me last week when Todd is
Angry Vicky.
Yes. She said, "Where is Seren?" Said he's in New York. I'm sick of Todd Lebo. I said, "Well, we got Jack Johnson on Friday. Him too." I said, "Okay."
Oh, good gosh.
Vicky, love you, girl. Thank you. That's so kind. At the expense of Todd and Jack. Makes it even better.
Yeah, right.
You know? No! Not them!
I told her we'd get her Gary Parrish again, and we did.
And we did. We did get her Gary Parrish. So we hope you're happy. I know you're a huge college basketball fan, Vicky. Yeah, it is Lebo Sounds without Todd Lebo, brought to you by our friends at Family Leisure. K10 and Ridgeview, I've got plans to get over to Family Leisure. I got some things I need. Listen, it's where family and fun comes together. Genuinely, it is one of the few places we can go to shop, and everybody in my family is happy. Like, it is just a happy, happy place.
For sure.
Get off K10 right there at Ridgeview. You can find them online at familyleisure.com. Always, you can save more by mentioning 810. Tell them you heard about it on the program. Tell them Petro sent you. The best in patio furniture, hot tubs, spas, pools, poker tables, game tables, arcade games. There's so many things from Family Leisure that are in my house. I don't even know where to begin, from trampolines and arcade games to bar stools, to they'll sell you the bar, fire pits, grills, Gorilla basketball goal, my basketball goal. Still a champ. Hadn't been used in like 3 years. But because we started moving the baseball draft around. So my idiot friends who would come and lower it down and dunk on it
right.
are not there anymore. And my little one doesn't play anymore. So, well, actually, she does play, but she doesn't practice anymore.
Yeah.
She plays rec league now, so we ain't practicing no more for that. But, yeah, they are a great, great group. Locally owned and operated, family owned and operated for more than a quarter century. Like I said, mention 810. Save even more. You need anything for your pool, your hot tub, your spa. You need anything when you get out on the water, like the pool, the lake, the floaties, the inner tubes. They got it all. It's just a great, great place. Go out there. You'll have a great time just checking things out. Great people. It's Family Leisure at K10 and Ridgeview. Dennis and DJ, I will see you in the next couple of days is my plan.
Nice.
Next few days, I should say. It would be maybe 4 days, because I don't know if we're going to get there before the 4th, so it might be Sunday. But I will be out there. We'll see you shortly. Let's talk a little bit about the latest on Chris Bubich. Scott Sharp does a great segment every week, assistant general manager for the Kansas City Royals. He's on with New Day with SSJ each and every week. He joined Stephen St. John this morning and gave the latest word on Chris Bubich, which is not good. You're in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Petro,
Live
Siebel,
radio.
laser sharp Kyle Collier on the other side of the glass. If anybody wondered, like, why'd they just go to break, you're not alone. That would be Curtis and I wondering the exact same thing. Little Lebo sounds. Let's hear from Scott Sharp, the assistant general manager of the Royals. Scott said these things.
The program.
The program. No, that's not what he said.
That's Jim Cutler. That's not Scott Sharp.
Now, you want to explain yourself for this catastrophic mistake you just made?
Yeah, I got a phone call. after I brought up.
Just talk to whoever you want.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever you want, you know? You good?
What's up?
You got your plans? I know you're getting ready to go out of town. You got everything worked out?
I
Got your sleeping bag packed for your little trip?
I try to be good to the listeners, and Vicky called up. She said, I heard my name on the radio.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then she continued to dump on Todd Lebo.
Now you're hearing it again.
She said she missed Gary Parrish, so I was trying to direct her to our podcast page.
So you're working her
which
through?
She said she couldn't get to. So I was trying to help her out, and something about your posture just told me go to break. I don't know. I hit the wrong button.
I pointed and he like, boom. It was like, you're not.
We need a secondary cue.
If
for
only there was
sound and
somebody
for-
else who could handle the phones while you were paying attention to the show.
Yeah.
If, like,
I
we
would not
had
put
someone.
Vicky on the interns.
Why not? Why couldn't iPhone
Might
handle
as well
it?
learn.
She's a lot.
Vicky is a passionate sports fan, loves her college basketball. iPhone could take that call and you could focus on the job at hand.
We need to come up with a different signal. This is for sound. This is for break. I don't know. This is for break.
I've been at this like 14 months. I think that's the first time I've done that. So, you know.
That is the first.
Yeah.
That is the first. Yeah.
Because Dravetta.
It was once a
3
show in
times a week.
Dravetta.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. We'll get a text from him about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's not true. It's not true.
I was way better than Kyle. The good news is Kyle's training only lasted a little over 3 years.
He was in high school when he started.
I know. All right, can we hear from Scott Sharp now?
Yeah, we can.
The assistant general manager of the Kansas City Royals. He joined Steven St. John on New Day with SSJ every week. This morning he was on. The word on Bubic, not good.
I mean, I wish I had a little bit better news. Chris was supposed to pitch tonight. We're going to. I don't think he's going to. He's going to come back to Kansas City, and we can't get the final little bit of soreness out there. So we're continued to be hopeful that with continued treatment, rest, that we can get him back sooner than later. I don't have an exact timetable on that. It was trending in a pretty positive direction. Looks like it might be, something that we have to continue to evaluate. And we were hopeful to get him back towards like that starter buildup, but at this point you're starting to lose some time in the season in terms of actually being able to stretch a guy out and get him built up. So we're just going to have to continue to evaluate that. I wish it was maybe trending a little bit better than it is, but that's the reality of it right now.
And that was, for those wondering, that was at least 6 and probably 7 hours before they made the official move of transferring Bubic to the 60-day DL. I think they maybe were trying to see if something could.
How long has he been out? When was the last time he pitched?
That's a good question.
Because, I mean, part of this may be just a formality. If it's been 45 days and you're like, listen, we got to shut him down for 10.
May 14th.
Yeah, so we are. We're at, I almost nailed it. We're at about, would have been 16 days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the 14th counts retroactive to the 14th. Does that mean the 14th is one of the days or not? So it'd be 16 or 17 days there plus
30.
Or no, it would have been 17 or 18 days there if the 14th counts, plus 30. So, yeah, now it's inconsequential. The 60 just gives them a chance to put somebody else on the 40.
Mm-hmm.
So if they wanted to claim somebody off waivers or bring somebody up that's, a veteran-type guy that's not on the 40-man, that's down in the minors, they've got room on the 40. It opens up a spot on the 40 to do that. So
yeah, and just for people who are wondering, we talked about this earlier. We just mentioned the Bubic move. That was a part of a series of moves that was made a little over an hour
Yeah, go ahead
ago.
and lay him out again.
Right-handed pitcher Eric Sarantola has been optioned back to Omaha. He has, every time he's on the mound, he just cannot find the plate, and when he does, it gets hit. So he's back to Omaha. Right-handed pitcher Connor Siebold, who they said after the game last night that he had a right lat strain. He has been placed in the 15-day injured list with that. The Royals have called back right-handed pitchers Jose Cuas and Randy Dobnak from Omaha. So Cuas and Dobnak in, Sarantola back down, Siebold to the injured list, and Bubic transferred to the 60-day IL.
Well, basically, it's an overworked bullpen that they're trying to get a few fresh arms in.
Yeah, like I said, last night they went from Siebold to Sarantola to Breckway, who I thought Beckway, who I thought kicked for Texas at some point. Be one of the few ways that didn't. No way. When you're going from one guy, that guy to that guy to that guy, you've got a bullpen that's in need of some arms. So, Cuas he's had his moments. I don't know what to expect from Dobnak.
Randy was all excited about Cuas about 4 years ago.
Yeah. One of those guys, but a lot of relievers are like that. Ooh, had a little something there. And then the next time you're like, maybe not.
Yeah, they are banged around. There's no doubt about it. Let's continue. This is J.J. Picola. We played this in the 5 o'clock hour, but you might not have heard it. We had to play it. I guess we played it early in the 5? Yeah, early in the 5.
Before we talked to...
Need to know before we talk to Gary Parrish. This is J.J. He was asked about the trade deadline and how he's viewing the deadline with as many injuries as they have.
So that's where the short-term and long-term planning, and who's going to be on our rotation next year. I mean, we just talked about Bergert and Cole being out, so they're two that we know we don't have. Bubic is a pending free agent, so that might be 3 that we don't have. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to talk about moving any of our starting pitching. Doesn't mean we don't listen, doesn't mean we don't examine, but we know if we make a trade like that, now you got to replace him. If we expect to win in 27, you got to replace him. So a bird in the hand sometimes better than what you're going to get for the future. But we won't know that until we have really specific conversations. But I think this is going to be a little tricky, and keeping an eye on what we have in 27, knowing that we have to improve our bullpen. There's no doubt that's going to be a major part of our offseason to try to improve the pen. You always want to try to add offense somehow, but we like whether you go Carter, Salvi, Cags, Vinny, Bobby, Michael, Izzy, we've got some significant pieces. So if we can shore up the bullpen, if you go back and look through this season, there's a lot of close games that we didn't hold on to leads. And, we have a higher percentage of blown saves, not necessarily ninth inning blown saves, but blown saves than we've had the last 2 years. And if we could have shored that up or stayed healthy or whatever it may be, maybe we would have won more games. You like to think that you would have, because we've had leads late in games that we haven't held. So, when you look at the deadline now, you're also thinking about those things for 27, because if you just punt on everything in 26, now you got to climb a big mountain for 27, and we don't think we're far off. So we feel like we have to tweak our team, get better for sure, but that's what's going to make this deadline a little bit more difficult.
Okay, a couple of things. Short and long-term planning. Got that, right? Difficult to move starting pitchers. Quote, we'd have to replace them if we plan to win in 27. Major part of what their offseason will be is to improve the bullpen. And they cited a lot of blown saves, a lot of one-run games, a lot of leads blown, and not necessarily in the ninth. There have been plenty in the ninth.
Yes.
Let me add. Okay, plenty. I mean, that is
Lucas Erceg had 6 blown ninth inning saves himself, which is hard to do.
And Estevez blew the first game of the year, right?
Yeah. I think I saw he was the first pitcher with that number of innings pitched in American League history to have 6 blown ninth inning saves within the first, 60 games of a season or whatever it was.
Right, it was something like 19 innings or something for him.
Yeah, fewer than 20 innings, 6 blown saves in the ninth inning.
Listen, I think the one thing you can say, and I like J.J. Picollo, and I think he's a very, very smart baseball guy, right? And that prefaces nothing other than to say that is a guy talking about winning in 27. And so to me, that's the question. Can they win in 27? And, like, I know what the reaction is going to be immediately. It's going to be fans going, oh, hell no, this team sucks. They're terrible. They can't do it. I know that's the knee-jerk reaction, but Vinny Pasquantino will come back and has been healthy. Now, I think he is an injury risk here moving on, period. That's how he should be viewed. Michael Garcia should come back. He's a young guy. He should be able to stay healthy, right? Bobby seems to only miss a day or two here or there. So, but if you have Michael Garcia, Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, and now Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione are going to be legit everyday, above-average players, that is a really good start. Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo is a really good start. Noah Cameron has been off track, on track, now back off track. Noah Cameron on track is a good start. Kolek has been tremendous and then seems to have gotten a little lost, right? Good Kolek is really good. All right, that's 4 starters. Urseg has had some brilliant moments, but we're a couple of years removed from him. Let's be clear, right? Carlos Estevez is not under contract. The rest of the bullpen, like, is that enough? Urseg, Lynch, because I think Strom's a free agent after this year as well. I think Schreiber is too. Urseg, Lynch, those 4 starters, because I don't think you can count on Reagans or
Bubich?
No, Bubich is gone by all accounts. The Burgert.
Brian Burgert.
I don't think you can count on either one of those guys. You know, you shouldn't anyway. I mean, you can be like, here's the timeline, here's the rehab, but yeah, Chris Bubich was on his rehab start. Where is he? Now on the 60-day DL. So, you know, I don't think you can count on any of those guys. So is that enough to be talking about winning in 27? And I'm not saying that if the answer is no, that means you blow it up, tear it down to the studs. But does it mean that it shouldn't be a matter of like, hey, it'd be really difficult to trade starting pitching? Well, of course, listen. That's my problem. And I understand why a general manager wouldn't say, I'm actively trying to trade Seth Lugo. I don't expect him to say that. But if he really means I'm only listening, like, you should they be more than listening? Because Dayton Moore would say that all the time, and it drove me crazy. Well, we'll answer the phone. Well, how about you pick it up and propose the trade? How about you pick it up and engineer the trade? Now, J.J. Picollo will do that.
The other guy's waiting for his phone to ring, too.
Yeah, he was trying to do that with the 3-team deal with the Mets to get Brendan Donovan. So he's tried that, right? It didn't end up working out, and Brendan Donovan's been hurt most of the year for the Mariners. So that's not a major loss, but, you know.
That doesn't mean it was a bad idea.
No,
yeah.
but I'm saying I come back to that statement there about, well, we're if we're going to win in 27, well, can you? Is that enough? When you look at that, is that enough? I mean, Strom, Lane Thomas, Schreiber, not under contract. Marte, not under contract. You get a lot of guys that are. I mean, the ones that people would care about would be Avila, Nick Lofton, Carter Jensen, Jack Caglione, Isaac Collins, Noah Cameron, Lucas Urseg, Alex Lang. We should mention Lang in the bullpen as well. He's had certainly some bright moments. Daniel Lynch, Michael Massey, Salvador Perez, Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo, and Bobby Witt. Those are the players on the current squad that you have control of. On the injured list that you have control of, Michael Garcia, Vinny Pasquantino, and Cole Reagans, along with Isbell, Mears, MacArthur, and Marsh. Is that a team that sounds like a contender?
Not really, because literally everyone, like, there's no room for any one of those guys to not be good. Like, if everyone you named plays to their potential, yeah. But there's a lot of if this happens, if he recovers that, if he does that, there's so many. You get to a certain number of ifs, you're like, all right, Maybe not.
There'll be contracts that got to be paid. There's a lot of contracts that'll be coming off the books, so it's possible, but ooh.
All right, who was the first player the Chiefs drafted out of Iowa State? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
It all on the gridiron from South Bend to Arrowhead. From football on the radio, back to football, then more radio, then a little more football, and now radio again. It's Chiefs Hall of Famer Tim Grunhard on the program.
Brought to you by The Plumbing Pro. When you really need a plumber, the one to know is The Plumbing Pro. Visit them online at theplumbingpro.com.
Welcome back here on the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sorrent Petro, Curtis Siebel, Kyle Collier with you. We welcome our friend. We say that loosely. No, we don't. We welcome our buddy, Chiefs Hall of Famer, life coach, football insider, Tim Grunhard joins us here in the program. You know Tim's always brought to you by our friends at The Plumbing Pro. The one to know is The Plumbing Pro. You know they even do showers and tub remodels. We're wrapping up one with The Plumbing Pro at my mom's house. They've been serving KC since 1980. They've been serving me for a couple of years. They've been serving Tim for a long time. Tim's the guy who hooked me up. If you are smart, you'll go with a locally owned and operated plumbing company. That's The Plumbing Pro. The one to know is The Plumbing Pro. You can find them online at theplumbingpro.com. And if you need a shower or tub remodel, bath remodel, go ahead. Tell them you want the Petro deal. Save $2,000 off a new tub or shower replacement. They're doing a fantastic job for us. They'll do a great job for you. Experts when it comes to all things plumbing. Tim, my friend, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys, and happy 4th of July, a little bit early. Happy 250th birthday to our great country, United States of America. And I've been kind of driving along as this is the time of the year that we take Sarah's car back from the Southern Command Center in Florida. So we drove and said, hey, listen, let's stop and take a little bit of time in between, we're going up to Cincinnati where I'm at right now to visit my grandson, but we stopped in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. When you want to talk about Americana, you talk about Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't been to a Buc-ee's, that's Americana. And it's funny because you see all the World Cup fans from all over the world when they come in the United States. They talk about the barbecue and they talk about obviously the huge portions of food that is given out at any given restaurant in our country. But a lot of them are talking about Buc-ee's, and I haven't. Really
a lot of America's talking about Buc-ee's. Is that what you're saying?
A lot of the World Cup people are talking about Buc-ee's as they go into Buc-ee's.
They can't believe
they just can't believe it, and I can't believe it either. It's so big, it's so humongous, it's so over the top. But there's just something about it. There's an allure about Buc-ee's, and I know we're getting one up by the Kansas Speedway, so Kansas City will be enjoying a Buc-ee's soon. But what a crazy place that is! You guys ever been to one?
I have not, but I know that I mean that it's just a picture of Americana is larger portions of everything. One of the things I've seen I think has been interesting is a lot of the fans who have come from Europe. There's tons of little clip compilations of people going, this is a large, this is a medium, this is like 44 ounces. They can't believe the portions of food.
No, of course they can't, because over there they give you a Dixie cup with no ice. They got to figure out the beverage system over there. I will tell you that.
That's the best thing that can happen to Europe is the fans go back and go, we need to change some stuff in these restaurants. How about some seasoning?
Yeah.
And then maybe some ice and some larger portions. I actually would like to eat a meal.
And went to Q39 the other day with my son and his wife and the new baby, Isla. And we were talking to the waitress there, great gal. They do a wonderful job over there at Q39. But the big thing was ranch dressing. They can't keep ranch dressing in stock.
Yeah, they love it.
Every European that comes over there, I guess they're going into restaurants and asking for ranch dressing.
You know who's getting a lot of free ranch dressing? TSA.
Yeah, they are.
I'm not kidding you. The guys at TSA, they're grabbing these bottles of ranch dressing and putting them in their bag, and they're like, "You can't take this on."
I know. I saw someone post I came here with 2 suitcases, and I'm going home with 4 suitcases, and in this suitcase is this. I'm like, "You're not getting that on the plane. You're not getting 2 suitcases full of all kinds of liquids and food.
Yeah,
forget it.
I mean,
you might as well just give it to the people at the airport."
Everything from Kentucky bourbon to ranch dressing has been confiscated. TSA is having a wonderful, wonderful summer as they are just stocking up on all kinds of Americana goods. But what a and really interesting place in this Buc-ee's and all that whole stuff. But we're getting one up at the Kansas Speedway. So sooner than later, guys, you'll have to go up and experience what a Buc-ee's is all about. Get yourself a brisket sandwich, go to the candy wall, go to the jerky bar. You'll love it.
I just want to point out, if you're getting paid by all these people you're promoting right here, there is a legality issue.
Well, then they could pay us. You know what? You talk about it. Hey, one of the things we used to do on Crunch Time all the time, now it probably wasn't legal, but we certainly did it.
Okay.
Was we would call out a restaurant and say, hey, bring some food over and we'll talk about your about your restaurant.
I can tell you that it's 100% not legal.
Yeah. Glad you stopped doing that.
If they're going to chase us down for that, then we have bigger problems in this country. But absolutely cool stuff going on. World Cup. I guess Colombia is playing. Who is Colombia playing in
Ghana?
Yeah, Ghana. So that's coming up here pretty soon, and not really a lot of upsets other than the team I was kind of rooting for in Germany. They get beat. So Other than that, hasn't been a lot of upsets yet in the knockout stages.
Yeah, but a lot of close games. A lot of close games for sure. So, it's been exciting. Let's talk a little American football, Tim.
Sure.
I asked this question. I posed it yesterday. I'm curious to get your thoughts. I'll just give it in the most broadest, generic terms, and then we'll drill down from wherever you start. What is at stake for Andy Reid this year?
Well, I think one of the more predictable things that happen to NFL coaches as they get a little bit longer in their tenure at teams is that you start to lose a little sustainability of wins. So I think to start with that, if you just look at guys like Tom Landry and Chuck Noll and Mike Holmgren and Bill Belichick, you look at a lot of guys who were with organizations for a long time, coaches that had a lot of success in organizations. And when a coach seems to stay 15 or 20 years, the very things that make them great start to kind of tear them down towards the end of their career. So Andy Reid's going to have to buck the trend and try to find a way to reinvent himself a little bit this year. Not only with the offense and doing something with a Patrick Mahomes that's going to be a little bit banged up, silencing the critics, because critics are out there. They're waiting to pounce on Andy Reid, and he wants to solidify his legacy. So all those things are, I think, important to Andy Reid. I think he's had, according to some of the people that I've talked to out there, he's been grinding away. He's been trying to find some answers to some of the questions that popped up last year as one of the worst seasons that he's ever had as a head coach, and quite frankly, the worst season he's had as a head coach of Patrick Mahomes, being 6-11. So he's been grinding it out a little bit, and we'll see if it really pays dividends. But the odds are against a coach that's been in an organization for a long time for one reason or another. I came up with a couple, but for one reason or another, head coaches seem to struggle at the end of their tenure after having unbelievable runs with organizations.
Yeah. And those are the things that he's up against. But like, what do you think's at stake? Is his job on the line? Like, what I think is at stake is his total control of the organization, right? Like, I think if they come home 7-10, like the idea, like I think there'll be some listen, and the offense is 20th ranked again. Like, I think there's going to be who you getting, Andy? Because the Bieniemy thing didn't work. And if you want to go at it again with Bieniemy, then I don't think 26, but I think 27 will be for his job. If he's like, no, we got it all figured out. Okay. Because there's the feeling right now is that, and to a degree it doesn't if you have a good year, that 25 doesn't count, right? That's not who we are. We had injuries. Pat went down. You were 6-8 when Pat went down, but Pat went down, and so it's okay. It's just a blip on the radar screen, and we had no running game, but we fixed that, so now we're all set.
We lost all these close games.
Yeah, and if they go 12-5, that narrative will be accurate. But if they go 7-10, it will be you have been bad for 2 years. You have not had the answer for 2 years. And so I think that right now, everybody is ready to just be like, no, I think we're going to bounce back. The odds makers think they're going to bounce back, which I think is more a reflection of what the general public thinks, because the general public has, tried to, say the Chiefs were going to take a hit at some point, and it just doesn't happen. And so they keep making the odds higher and higher and higher, just like last year when the Chiefs were below 500. They kept being the favorite to win the Super Bowl because it's 2 years ago they got it turned around. Well, they didn't get it turned around. And so I think that'll be, I think that whole narrative changes to, no, you're just a mediocre team right now. You're a mediocre team with a quarterback. It's going to cost. Patrick Mahomes isn't going to be considered the number one quarterback at the end of this year if they have the 20th offense and go 7-10. That's at stake in this. Which, there's no tangible, value to that, but he'll lose the crown of being the top dog. Right. And so I think if Andy Reid wants to continue to run things the way he wants to run them, whenever he wants to run them, however he wants to run them, with whoever he wants to run them, they got to bounce back and they got to win the division.
Yeah, and I think you're hitting on one of the points that I wrote down that he's going to have to certainly address and evaluate is the adaptation of his system or the stubbornness of his system. Will he be able to adapt? long-term coaches, one of the reasons why they struggle is because they think that their way of doing things has worked and it's going to continue to work, but teams will adapt. And now it's time for this coach and Andy Reid, and it's hard for these guys to adapt their system and find ways to make their system fit into this day and age of what teams are trying to do. And whether you've won 3 Super Bowls or not, if he can adapt, I believe that that is a telltale sign that I'm not sure if the Chiefs would actually fire Andy Reid unless you had a couple of years of just total devastation on the field and quite frankly off the field. I think that that's when you could see Andy Reid be fired, but I think it's going to take something like that. If, he is close, around a 500 to even above 500 team for the next couple of years, I think Andy Reid decides to step down on his own. I just don't see the Kansas City Chiefs firing him unless there's total devastation off the field. The adaptation, will he be able to adapt his system? Will he adapt to some of the things that we've talked about offensively, especially with Patrick Mahomes being banged up? You brought in Kenneth Walker as a running back. Will you go underneath? That's not his system. That's not something he likes to do. And when I talk about going underneath the center with some of the play action and running the ball from under center, something that Kenneth Walker likes to do. So just little things like that. Will he adapt and exactly what you talked about a little bit earlier? Maybe it's time to loosen the reins a little bit and give some of the responsibility to some of the people in the front office instead of him running the whole show, because that's a lot for an older guy who's coming off a 6-11 season. He needs to concentrate on what he needs to do to get this team over the hump, because there's some things that need to be done this offseason and this training camp for this team to get to where they need to go, and we'll see if they did it.
Well, I mean, we know he always defers to Brett Veach and says Brett Veach is the, he does the personnel, he handles all that. And I think he does, but with Andy Reid having veto power, right? Like, I think is how we all pretty much feel like it works. But I think that may be one of the changes, that we get to a point that the veto power is taken away, right? But I think even more so, when you talk about delegating things like that, that's why I say if they don't, I think there's the only scenario I see where Andy Reid's not the coach, barring he just says, okay, I'm done and retires, but where he's not the coach by his choice in 27 is if he has a bad year and they say, this is what has to change. And he says, no, I do it my way or it's the highway. If he forces ownership into, no, I'm not going to change things, then I think, I don't think you can sit. I think a conversation would be had with Pat Mahomes. And if Pat Mahomes is like, yeah, we're struggling, then I think there'd be a change, right? And I don't think that's a spot you want to put Pat Mahomes in. And I don't think that's how you want it to end. So I'm hoping Andy Reid sees what he can and can't do. Look, first of all, I'm hoping Andy Reid has a major adaptation and he runs things the way he's always run it, and they go 15-2 and win a championship, right? That shuts all this talk up. Okay, so that's what I hope for. But the reason we bring these things up is because I think it's important to have the discussion before you get there. And I said this yesterday with Matt Derrick, because otherwise you go 7-10, there are going to be injuries, and people will be like, well, we were hurt. So-and-so was hurt, and so-and-so was hurt. Yeah. I mean, like one of their championships, Chris Jones didn't play in one of the playoff games. Chris Jones was hurt for like 4 or 5 games in one of their runs. They've lost tackles and guards and all that and gone all the way to the Super Bowl before finally being exposed. Like, you don't get to just fall back and be like, well, injuries are the key now. Like, you weren't injury-free all those other years. You were a great team with a great scheme and, a great quarterback. If you're not overcoming injuries, you're missing something somewhere. We can agree on that, right? That's the purpose of having this conversation.
Yeah, and I think it's a good conversation to have at this time of the year because, we want to be proactive, not reactive. And that's one of the great things about this show and this station is I think we do a good job of being proactive and talking about things before they happen. And I'm just going to tell everybody out there right now, this isn't just another season on the sideline for Andy Reid. It's arguably the most important season for him for a lot of different reasons, for his legacy, for this team's growth, for this organization's growth. So, you got a guy who is going to be, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He's going to be a Hall of Fame coach. But once again, does he want to go out like the Landrys and the Knowles and the Belichicks, where, his message was lost, couldn't adapt to his schemes, couldn't adapt his schemes to others. And listen, guys, this is I think, most important season for Andy Reid, maybe in his career, because I think that this is going to tell him whether he can make that adjustment, whether he can do the little things that he needs to do to kind of get this team back over the hump. He took the team from a point where, struggling to the top of the heap, to the top of the mountain, to the peak of the mountain, and now he's kind of back down again. Can he make that adaptation? Can he do the little things that he needs to do to get this team back to where we all expect it to be? And that is a perennial Super Bowl challenging team. And it's really important for that. And so I really think that this is a huge, huge season for Andy Reid and his coaching legacy, and has been basically what kind of coach he's going to be as the next couple of years progress.
Yeah, because you only have so many years with Patrick Mahomes, and you can't spin your wheels for 3 or 4 of them, while you wait for the coach to theoretically figure it out, right? You need to be winning and winning now. Like I think that puts extra pressure on the whole process, because Patrick Mahomes isn't getting any younger.
Absolutely. And either it's Chris Jones and so there's a lot of guys that he needs to find a way, and talking about Andy Reid, to get them to play at the best of their ability. Now, Patrick Mahomes, we always know Patrick Mahomes is going to give 110%. That's just the way he is. But he's coming off a major knee surgery. So can Andy Reid adapt a little bit early? If Patrick's playing early, he's got to make some adaptations. If he's not playing early, what's he going to do with Justin Fields? What about on the other side, Chris Jones? Chris Jones is just a huge cap hit, a heavy cap hit for the Kansas City Chiefs. And, they've made a lot of moves this year on the defensive line and on the defense to take some pressure off of him, to maybe get him singled up, to see what he can do, how he can finish his career. So, there's just a lot of things that Andy Reid's going to have to juggle, and those balls are being tossed up in the air, and whether he can catch them and keep that juggling going remains to be seen. This is a huge year for Andy Reid, a huge year for Chris Jones, a huge year for Travis Kelce, a huge year for, Patrick Mahomes and how he's going to be able to bounce back from this injury. You never know. You could talk a great game coming back from injuries, but you never know until you do it. And Patrick Mahomes is going to have to do it this year.
Yeah. What happens for the offense if let's take a break. I don't want to get behind. We'll take a break. I want to come back. I want to talk about how much they may be handcuffed offensively going into the year if they, have to run a different offense for Fields. If Patrick Mahomes isn't ready, what is that going to mean ultimately to them in trying to get things, ready? Does that we're starting one offense, we now got to change to another one, or can you just run the same offense? I will do that with Tim Grunhard. He's with us here in the program. He's brought to you by the Plumbing Pro, the ones to know if you've got any kind of problem. Hot water heater's not hot, can't shower, not draining. Maybe you got a big problem coming in from the main line, coming from the street. The one to know is the Plumbing Pro. Find them online at theplumbingpro.com.
The program with Soren Petro.
What do you think?
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Westwood One Sports presents this World Soccer Update, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. World Cup round of 32, it's halftime in Seattle, Senegal, a 1-0 lead over Belgium. The lone goal by Habib Diarra in the 25th minute. A final earlier today, a late brace from Harry Kane pushes England past DR Congo 2-1. England through to the round of 16, where they'll play Mexico. Kane now has 5 goals in this tournament. He is tied with Erling Haaland for third in the race for the Golden Boot. Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi each have 6 goals. And later tonight, the USA is back in action versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's an 8 p.m. Eastern kickoff in Santa Clara. The U.S. enters the knockout rounds off of 8 total goals in the group stage, a U.S. men's national team World Cup record. Phil Constantino, Westwood One Sports.
Kohl's knows summer comes with a few family debates, like what's the best ice cream flavor, or who gets the good pool noodle. But when it comes to Kohl's summer outfits, everyone's in agreement. They're comfy, they're cool, they're stylish, and they're here to make everyone's summer feel a little easier. Shop now for looks that the whole family will sign off on at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles.
Feta delicatessen, end of the hour answer. Who was the last player the Chiefs drafted out of Iowa State?
Ooh, Iowa State.
Wow. Mm-hmm. There'll be a second fun thing we can do off of this, but
man, I don't think anybody when I was playing.
Quarterback.
Oh, it was a quarterback.
7th round pick in 1972.
Oh, wow.
Man by the name of Dean Carlson.
Oh, wow.
And I can tell you, as a Chief, he played in one game, 7 of 15, 46%, 116 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, or as I like to call it, the full Palco.
Yeah.
He was the first of what will now be 10 Chiefs to wear number 9. Kenneth Walker will be the 10th. How many of the other 8 can you name who wore the number 9 for the Chiefs?
Ooh, Bill Kenny.
Yep.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's what I was going to say.
The rest are kind of, people you know, but you wouldn't have thought about number 9 because they didn't get on the field much.
Was there a kicker in the 90s who wore 9, a punter or a kicker for the Chiefs?
There was a kicker in the late 90s and then the early aughts. Actually, there were 3 kickers. Scott Bentley.
Scott
here
Bentley
for a game in 99.
That's your guy. Isn't that the barefoot kicker?
John
Tim?
John Baker was
him. John Baker was the barefoot kicker.
Maybe.
That's right.
There was a Jason Baker, Nick Novak.
I remember that.
The other 3 quarterbacks, Brady Quinn.
Oh, was okay. Two other quarterbacks.
Yep, 2 more quarterbacks.
They didn't get on the field much.
Nope.
Did Blaine Gabbert wear 9?
Blaine Gabbert.
And
1 more. Always a third string guy, but boy, what a live arm! Will he ever?
Oh, the Tennessee kid.
Yep.
Guy who just sucks so bad in the Patrick Mahomes first start game that they're like, all right, Pat, get back in there. This guy's blowing it.
They actually took him out and put Mahomes back in.
What the hell was his name? Big kid, big arm.
Initials?
Yeah.
TB.
Tyler Bray.
Tyler Bray.
Bang!
You got it.
I'll take my performance on that question. I didn't get the kicker. Screw them. Screw the kickers,
Pretty
right,
good.
Tim?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You are kind of a uniform
like
number guy
numbers,
like me.
I'm not as good as I used to be, but I like the numbers. Wow. Okay. The great history of number 9s. So in other words, the point is he's got Bill Kenny to topple to be the greatest 9 in Chiefs history.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he should at least be the very least be the second best. He's got to be better than Juju Smith.
I think when he takes the field, he jogs out. He's 3rd.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He gets, as soon as he eclipses 10 yards rushing, all right, you're 3rd.
If he can make it through the preseason healthy, he's 3rd.
He's 3.
Yeah, I think that's how that'll work. Tim, the offense, like if they're going and Pat's not making the marks that he would need to make to start, and they've got to start Justin Fields, how has that set them back as an offense?
Well, it sets them back as an offense, I think, in the passing game especially. I think the running game, you could develop a game plan with some RPOs. One of the things that I just dislike right now in the NFL, but I think you'd see a bunch of it. I think RPOs, maybe a little bit of play action, because one of the things that Fields can do is he can go underneath and in this running game, hand the ball off for inside outside zone and maybe run some play action off of that. But it's not a good situation. I think it's the best situation that they could probably have come up with Patrick Mahomes being out, because defensive coordinators it's going to be a nightmare situation for them, because they're instantly going to have to look at all kinds of different things with +1 runs in the quarterback running game, RPOs, and the heavy running game that the Chiefs usually don't do. But guys, I've watched Justin Fields play a lot of football because I do like to watch the Chicago Bears. Also, still a Bears fan. He's not very good at getting to his second read. He takes a lot of sacks. He turns the ball over. In the passing game, he throws the ball to places that, like, where the hell was he looking? What was he looking at? What was that all about in the passing game? But if you had to live with him for 2 to 3 games early, I think you'd see some +1 runs. I think you'd see some RPOs. I think you'd see some read options, those kind of things that defensive coordinators aren't used to seeing from the Chiefs. and it'd be interesting to see how Andy Reid puts together an offensive game plan with Justin Fields.
I agree, and I think Andy Reid might be the best guy to coach Justin Fields into being the best guy that he can be, because I think Andy Reid can dial up like some, one route, one option guy. We got four guys. Kelsey's a fake here. We're going to draw the linebacker out this way. We're going to run the go with Xavier Worthy over here. Rashee Rice is going to run, a step back bubble screen to draw everyone up there. And then what you're really looking for is the second tight end on the drag underneath. And we're going to steal 7 yards here real quick. Like those kind of things, I think Andy Reid, can do a really good job of helping the young guy out. But that's kind of my point. That's not at all what you're going to do with Pat. And the other thing is, while I love the idea of Fields coming in as a backup behind Mahomes, when if Mahomes is healthy, for the most part, and let's say he gets banged and his shoulder's sore, and if it's a playoff game, he'd stay in. But now you're going to come in with Fields just because you're not going to risk it. Then I think you switch gears to that offense, and it's hell on wheels because you haven't prepped for Fields. And so Fields runs for like 60 yards and a half, right? And throws for 90 yards, and the Chiefs, score 13 points with Fields and seal the day and go, run away with a victory. But I think I worry that if you come out and you do realize, okay, we're going to start with Fields, like to give yourself the best chance. Like, I don't think you're in a position, like I think last year they went at it knowing they were going to lose 6 games with Rashee Rice, and they practiced like they were going to be with Rashee Rice. And then they opened and didn't have him, and they laid eggs. Right? And I don't know how much, maybe they just sucked. Maybe the Juwan Taylor penalties were killers. Maybe the wide receiver coaching was so bad the receiving routes were terrible. Maybe the running backs' heads were up their rear end and they were just no good. Maybe everything was crisp and the offensive game plan was great. But every time we asked Andy in training camp, well, do you have to do it different? Do you have 2 offenses, one with Rashee Rice? And one of that, he's like, no, it's the same thing. This is what we do. We do what we do. Well, you can't tell me you do what you do with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Fields, right? Like that can't be the same thing, can it?
No, yeah, no, it can't be. And I think that there's going to be a package that they put together this offseason. I'm sure they've already done it, where I say, listen, without Patrick Mahomes, the kind of winning ugly package, where you have some quarterback runs dialed up. You have, like you said, some 1 or 2-man routes you have dialed up. You have, some RPO stuff dialed up. But, yeah, you have to make that adaptation. You have to do it. So.
We're talking to Tim Grunhard here in the program, football insider, life coach, all-around swell guy. He joins us each and every week here. Tim, I do think that, the key for that, like if Mahomes doesn't start, I think you got to practice the other offense a little bit, right? Like I think you got to tailor it, because the early returns are exactly what you said about Fields, that he was not accurate, that he was missing receivers. In fact, I was hearing people say they thought Nussmeier looked better. Like you mentioned, let's dig a little bit deeper on your time watching the Bears. Could Nussmeier beat him out as a rookie 7th round pick and end up starting his first game in the league?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you're going to see a Justin Fields experiment if Patrick Mahomes. And the good news for the Kansas City Chiefs is they know that Patrick Mahomes, has this injury. It's not like he played the first game of the year and he hurt himself and he has to sit out for 3 or 4 games. They know, and they have made an adjustment with an offensive scheme, an offensive plan, an offensive idea that they can bring out of kind of, blow the dust off it and say, okay, here, this is what we're going to do. So, do I think Nussmeier could beat him out? Absolutely. Listen, the Bears, and I can't remember the name of the guys they've had, but, Justin Fields was sat, 4 or 5 different times during his tenure with the Chicago Bears. And they brought in guys from, that nobody expected to play. Did they have a lot of success with those guys? No, they didn't. But that's the point is, Justin Fields, for one reason or another, lost his starting job a couple of different times with the Chicago Bears. And, listen, it's because of the passing game and his lack of maybe understanding or lack of vision in the passing game. the team said, hey, listen, we're just going to shut down this run game and make him pass the ball. Well, against the Kansas City Chiefs, I just don't see Andy Reid having that luxury of being able to say, okay, well, hey, we're just going to go ahead and sit Patrick Mahomes here and have Justin Fields start for us. I just don't see that happening. So yeah, Nick Nessmeyer is a guy that I've heard a lot of good things about his passing too. So yeah, I think that the good news is that they have another option. I also think that the good news is that Patrick Mahomes is going to be healthy enough to play a huge majority of the football games. But if you had to live with him for 1 or 2 games, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, no, except for if you come out of the gates 1 and 2, like, oh, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Doesn't that settle in?
Yeah, absolutely. But I also, now, if you come out of the gates 1 and 2 without Patrick Mahomes, there is a shot of adrenaline, a shot of hope that happens when he goes in there. And so that might be able to get you off the schneid. But yeah, if something happens where knock on wood, this doesn't happen, that Patrick Mahomes goes out there, he twists his knee, he's got to sit out for another 3 or 4 weeks early, and all of a sudden now, you're 1 and 3 or 1 and 4, and Patrick Mahomes is kind of iffy whether he's going to be able to play a majority of the games. That's not a good sign for the Kansas City Chiefs. So yeah, no, I think that if you have to live with Justin Fields early for 1 or 2 games, yeah, you got to sneak out 1 or 2 wins with that. And I think Andy Reid and his offensive kind of ideas for Justin Reid will be interesting to see.
Yeah, interesting is one way to put it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Doing some softening.
Interesting is one way to put it, because everyone who's seen him play up until now, the early returns in camp, like I said, were not that it was any different. So, but he's a dynamic runner. I mean, and that's where Nussmeier is on the team, in my opinion. There's no way you're not going to keep a third quarterback, because if you do have to go with Fields, I think the only way to win with Fields is to unleash his legs. So you're going to be exposing him to hits. He's not going to be a pocket passer back there. So if he's going to be exposed to hits, you better have somebody else in case you have to go there.
And it could be Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Run the Wildcat with Kelce. I don't think that's going to happen.
Absolutely. For everybody out there, if you really want a microcosm of Justin Fields' career with the Chicago Bears, just look at the Bears game a couple of years ago where, I don't know how many picks he threw in that game, but it was ugly. But he was able to make some plays with his feet. At times he was able to move the football a little bit, but sacks, turnovers, and misreads and those kind of things have just stunted the growth of his football career. And we'll see if Andy Reid has that magic in him to get this guy to the point where he can win a couple football games if they need him.
Yeah. We're talking to Tim Grunhard here in the program. Timmy's always brought to you by our friends at The Plumbing Pro. The one to know is The Plumbing Pro. Listen, if it's a problem with sewer, septic, drain installation and repair, the guys at The Plumbing Pro, they know the plumbing game. They've been doing it since 1980. Locally owned and operated. A lot of companies still have the name that's been around for a long time, but they're not really the same company. They're owned by an out-of-town group that just came in, bought up the company, cut everything back, and is just trying to squeeze as much profit out as possible. That's not The Plumbing Pro. They really love what they do. They're experts at what they do. All things plumbing. It's The Plumbing Pro. The one to know is The Plumbing Pro. You can call 816-763-8200 or find them online at theplumbingpro.com. We'll take a break, come back, talk more football with Tim Grunhard next here in the program.
The program with Soren Petro.
Who knew this was just going to be a fat old man turning into a giddy little child? Oh, yay.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Beat the Heat this sports.
program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Petro Siebel, Collier, and of course Tim Grunhart, football insider, life coach, all-around swell guy, Chiefs Hall of Famer, always brought to you by The Plumbing Pro. The ones to know are The Plumbing Pro. Find them online at theplumbingpro.com. Even those big jobs that might require backhoes and heavy equipment, they do those. Commercial, residential, yep, it's The Plumbing Pro. Find them online at theplumbingpro.com. By the way, Tim, how worried should we be about Travis Kelce's offseason having a wedding in it and his getting ready to be ready to go?
I think if it's any other guy, I'd be absolutely worried. But Travis Kelce, listen, he's been doing this now. He's been running around with his future wife here for the last 3 or 4 years, and in the off season, he's been traveling around doing concerts and going and playing in golf deals on national TV. So, listen, when you got a guy like Travis Kelce, who's transcended the sport and became a celebrity at the highest watermark, you don't have to. I don't think you particularly worry too much about it. But, it's a distraction. It's a distraction. It certainly is. Anytime you guys know, or Seren, obviously, you're planning a wedding and you're doing those kind of things. There's all kinds of things that come up. Now, I'm sure that he's not sitting there grinding on the table assignments, or I'm sure he's not sitting there grinding on, what the DJ is going to play or what the band is going to play. But, it is a distraction, and all indications are that they're getting married this weekend. I don't know if it's a juke with this Madison Square Garden thing. I kind of feel like it is. I feel like it's a distraction. I think
that's what I think it is. I think it's like to send everybody to one place while they go somewhere else.
Absolutely. I think it is too. I think that, but, man, oh man, I mean.
Well, first of all, what woman's like, where I want to get married? In a basketball arena. Like, am I the only one that's reverse engineered that part of the equation?
She's spent her whole life in arenas. Now she's going to get married in one that is.
Yeah. I'll have some pyrotechnics over here and do 3 costume changes. Like, really? Is that where this is going?
Yeah. I mean, crazy situation. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that's going to happen. But especially because it leaked. It leaked out, and the media and everybody else are, people in New York City are on Travis and Taylor watch, over there at MSG. So I don't know. Is it a distraction? Yeah, it's always a distraction. But I'm not too worried about Travis Kelce and being able. I think for him, this is his sanctuary. When he gets to, Kansas City and he goes over to the locker room and he's on the field, he doesn't have to talk about all the crazy stuff that I'm sure he's got to talk about off the field with all the different handlers and everything else. So if anything, I think it's a good thing for him to get away from all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, just an unbelievable situation to be in, marrying a superstar like Taylor Swift.
I think it's happening at the Holbrook Country Club.
Do you?
No.
Yeah.
But sounds. It's his house is basically on that, so why not? Why not put it right there? They'd never think to look there.
No, they wouldn't. They certainly wouldn't think to look at Holbrook. But
you said oh he's definitely going to be in shape. He's not. Yeah, but 2 years ago he wasn't.
Yeah, no, I didn't say he's going to be in shape. I think that the distraction isn't as profound as I think a lot of people think it is. No, he wasn't in shape. He was in terrible shape. He looked good. I saw him a couple of weeks ago out on the course, and he looks good. Had a brief conversation with him. He looks good, but looks can be deceiving. I don't know.
Yeah.
But to answer your question,
don't you go dying on us, Tim.
No, I think the reason why he plays football, he continues to play football, is this his little escape. Football is his escape. Going to the locker room and going to the meeting rooms and playing, doing his stuff on the field. I think it's his escape, and whether he continues to have the ability to escape all those things and go and play football remains to be seen.
Yeah, we're going to find out. Chris Jones This referendum year, he's 32. He's got a massive cap number. Next year, he's cheaper to cut than keep. And they've invested in around him on that defensive line. He will line up, assuming they keep who I think they're going to keep. He'll have, I don't know if Felix Anudike-Uzomah hasn't played, but 2 first-round picks and Anudike-Uzomah, 3 first-round picks, and Anudike-Uzomah, Peter Woods, and George Karlaftis. 2 second-round picks in Omar Norman-Lott and R. Mason Thomas, and a third-round pick in Ashton Gelati. There's been a significant investment in the talent around him. Like, they can't be bad on the defensive line this year, can they?
Make no mistake, they have drafted and they are trying to develop younger guys to replace him. It's as simple as that. He's a huge cap hit. I think that it's kind of a catch-22 for Chris Jones right now. I think that they're drafting these guys to help him to have more success, but they're drafting these guys also to replace him. So this is a very interesting year. It kind of mirrors a little bit with Andy Reid. The tenure of a defensive lineman who's getting paid as much as he's getting paid, it just doesn't seem to end well for those kind of guys. It just doesn't. Just like it doesn't really end well for coaches that are in organizations for a long time, and trying to make that adaptation to keep the room, to not lose its messaging. It's the same thing with a defensive lineman, like a guy like Chris Jones. He's got they're bringing all these guys in to help him to have success, but they're also bringing these guys in to replace him. So it'll be a really interesting year for Chris Jones, and to see how he can make that adaptation to having, whether those guys can help him to take some of the double teams off of him, and can he produce? Because last year, guys, to be quite frank, there were some games and some plays that were really ugly that Chris Jones did not perform and basically quit. So I can't see that this year. Can't happen.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think the flip side is, if he would have a 12.5 sack season, they may they might turn around and be like, okay, let's try to soften this cap number next year, and let's backload. I think you need to play it out. By the way, I said 48. I want to correct it. 44.9 is his cap hit, so $45 million this year. Next year, and they can cut him and have a $19.5 million dead hit, or they can pay him and have a $38.1 million hit. So basically, he's playing this year to prove he's worth $38 million next year.
Right, and he's 31 years old, right? He's
32 in a couple of days.
Yeah, 32 years old. That's long in the tooth for a defensive lineman. That's a position you take a lot of beating. It's a hard position to play. Remember, I always tell people all the time, I mean, there's reasons why defensive linemen can't play 100% every play, is because, I mean, they would just fizzle out. I mean, you're getting double teamed, you're getting pushed on, and you also got to come off of those blocks and make a tackle on a big, strong, physical running back or sack or quarterback.
How much wear and tear has he saved by just watching,
Trevor
Lawrence walk into the end zone, or just kind of deciding to stand and dance a little bit when he gets double teamed? How much wear and tear does that save?
Listen, it obviously doesn't save any wear and tear, but the reality is
you're not catching my.
I'm catching it.
I think he's trying to stay. He's trying to step aside of it.
I'm using my best political prowess here.
Okay.
But I do think that, hey, listen, he's not the first defensive lineman that has gotten to this age, and gotten to that level, and taken plays off. There's a lot of them, including guys like Cortez Kennedy, who I thought was one of the finest defensive linemen of all time. Chester McLaughlin wasn't, because he took too many plays off. But you look at even guys like Howie Long, guys that you expect to just play 110% every time, but they took plays off too. It's kind of the nature of the beast, but you can't do it in key situations like Chris Jones did last year, and it was just exposed. And that's the kind of press and that's the kind of ink that you just don't want.
Yeah, no, and agreed. And listen, I think at 32, Calais Campbell's still playing at like 39 or 40. I mean, it can be done. Now, Calais Campbell's not being paid like Chris Jones. And I think and I don't know that Calais Campbell ever made this kind of money. And so I can see Chris Jones being like, okay, that's enough. I'm out. I'm going to go enjoy the fruits of my labor here and head back down to Florida. But, yeah, I mean, I think if he wants to keep getting that check, I mean, that's a pretty big carrot to be out there. Like, I actually think we could see a pretty good year from Chris Jones, and I do think like it's a referendum on somebody. Like with the investment they've got, unless there's all kinds of injuries, if they don't really pressure the quarterback better, if they don't do a good job in stopping the run, then either, each of the individuals, Chris Jones being the president of the club there, will have it. But it's also a problem for Steve Spagnuolo or Tim or Joe Cullen or Brett Veach. I mean, like somebody screwed up with that kind of investment if this defensive line isn't. I mean, I would say well above average.
Well, I think this show was a good referendum on the things that are going to be important for the Kansas City Chiefs this year. Can Andy Reid make the adjustment? Can he adapt?
That's a good point.
Is the message lost? Can we live with Justin Fields for 2 or 3 games if we have to? And what is Andy Reid going to be able to do with them? What he can and can't do? And Chris Jones, absolutely. If the answer to all these things are yes and they're all positive, Kansas City Chiefs have a hell of a damn year. This is going to be a fun year. But,
and if they're not,
there's problems.
Once again, you guys, I'm not blowing smoke, but way to be proactive on this and come up with those questions, because these are the questions and these are the kind of things that people are going to be talking about in week 6, 7, or 8.
Yeah,
we're talking about them now. And, you can always go back and say, listen, we talked about this, this happened, and that's why they're winning, or this happened, that's why they're losing. So, kudos to you guys. Yeah, good job.
Tim, you're the best. We appreciate the time. We'll talk to you again next week, my friend.
Can't wait.
It's time for the La Feta Italian Delicatessen end of the hour question. Located on the southeast corner of 143rd and Metcalf. La Feta Delicatessen. Bread made fresh each morning, coupled with the freshest ingredients and sauces created in-house for you each and every day.
All right, on this date in 1987, Susan Waldman of 1050 AM in New York made history. How? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Welcome back here in the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, finishing strong here in the fourth quarter of the program. Petro Siebel Collier with you. We are watching very closely what is going on right now as we are still 2-2, right?
Yep.
Belgium and Senegal.
In Seattle.
The winner of Belgium and Senegal will take on the winner of the U.S. and Bosnia-Herzegovina.
They have now moved to extra time.
They are in extra time as pretty exciting match.
A late flurry by Germany. 2 goals, I think, in the
Germany
span of
had
4
nothing
minutes.
to do with it,
I'm
assure
sorry,
you.
Belgium. I looked down and saw the colors. It's flipped. Belgium, two goals in like 4 minutes at the 94th and 97th minute or something like that. Crazy.
They made quick work of their 2-goal deficit and were able to
Kind of
make
feels
it
like
2-2.
Kind of feels like that was it. Senegal had to win there.
Unless they get all the way to PKs.
Yes.
But what the hell do we know? Why don't
That's
we
true.
ask an
Yeah,
expert?
let's ask
Matt
Matt who
Beasler.
knows.
Yeah, Matt Beasler has played in the World Cup. He's brought to you by our friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of Blue. We welcome Matt Beasler to the program. Matt, how are you, buddy?
What's up, guys? Doing well.
Listen, appreciate the time. First of all, let's talk about this match that's still going on. 2-2, Senegal and Belgium. Belgium has come roaring back in this match. Does one team have the advantage? I mean, like, the common sense would say, like, wow, you're deflated. You thought you had it in the win column already. When you're up 2-0, you give up 2 goals. You're dead man walking. Is that the way it usually works?
I can't believe. I to be honest with you, I haven't watched a ton of the game. I know that Senegal was in complete control.
Yeah.
From what it seemed like statistically, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Belgium scored 2 goals in extra time just to tie it up. On paper, yeah, they would have all the momentum. So you would say it's probably leaning towards more Belgium. Sometimes, though, what you see is, I don't know how hard Belgium had to work in order to get those goals, and if they have anything left in the tank, if that makes sense. It's a little bit like you guys know college basketball when you're
That's exactly where I was going to go. That we talk about it all the time in basketball. You fight, like we always say, if you're coming from 24 down and you're going to get the lead, it better be with like 1 second on the clock, because there's going to be this natural this letdown of like, okay, we're good now, we're fine, and then the other team roars by. Does it happen the same in soccer?
It does. I could see that happening here. Belgium actually, the last minute or so, they had a couple opportunities to win the game outright in regulation to get that 3rd goal. Now that I think they went into extra time, everybody's going to take a breather. They're going to regroup. I think Senegal is probably, has the advantage. But again, I don't think so far we've seen any game in the knockout round go to extra time and not go into penalties. So if I had to predict what's going to happen, I would say this game's going to penalties. And from there, I have no idea who's going to win.
And is that because once you get to this point, everybody gets super conservative? Like, instead of being aggressive, now it's like, 100%. Okay, park the bus?
100%. Yeah, everybody gets super aggressive in extra time. To be honest with you guys, I don't like the new rule about the mandatory 15 minutes. Just do golden goal. Do golden goal, and then you'd actually push, because if you score, you win the game. Right now, it's gotten so conservative, and you don't want to give away chances. Coupled with the fact that you've just played 90 minutes already, so most of these guys are already tired. Their tanks are pretty empty. There's just not a ton of action in the extra times, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it feels that way to me as well. And so then the question becomes, what does it take to be a good PK team? Obviously, you need guys that are, good strikers, can put the ball in the net, but is there anything like, everybody's got guys that play up front, guys that play in the middle, guys that play in the back? Like, is there anything, does anybody actually put a roster together based upon, I imagine in the World Cup you might actually have the ability to do it based upon winning on PKs?
You know what? I don't think there's a formula. And if there is, I don't think anybody knows what they're actually doing or knows or has figured it out enough. There's a lot of different ways to view it. I think it's extremely psychological. Like, the mental part of penalties is probably the most important thing, versus having somebody that, can hit a ball powerfully or accurately. I think confidence is a big thing. Experience is a big thing. You know, you can debate, do you sub a guy on at the end who can take a penalty? He's fresh. He doesn't have heavy legs. He has the power to strike a ball, but he also is not in the rhythm of the game. So would you rather have a guy who's in the rhythm of the game that has heavy legs, or do you sub somebody on that is coming on fresh, but, you know, it's going to be their first ever touch of the game is hitting a penalty kick? I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I interrupt you. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say there's so many different factors of, you know, a lot of times like captains are center midfielders or defenders. Like typically you would think, well, your captain's got to take one. He's one of the leaders of the team. And he's probably, you know, got a lot of veteran experience. But if he's a defender, does he take it over a forward? Sometimes you throw in somebody that has zero experience because they're just naive to it. And it's like, well, this young guy, he doesn't know any better. He's not going to feel the pressure. You could go so many ways, so many different ways with these things that, again, that's why I think they're fascinating.
Yeah, I do too. And I think it's going to be interesting to see who ends up coming out of this. And I don't know, does playing this extra 30 minutes and potentially the drama and stress and adrenaline that comes with potentially having PKs as well, does that wear whoever comes out even more, wear them out even more than you would think, and give whoever wins Bosnia and the U.S. An even bigger advantage?
100%. I want any potential team that's going to be playing the U.S. down the road, I want them playing extra time, penalties. I want them back and forth. I want them exerting as much energy as possible.
How much does it change? How much does it ramp up when you go from pool play to knockout?
What do you mean in terms of the intensity?
Yeah. I mean, like, is it like, you know, we hear Tim Grunhard talk about like, well, you know, college is one thing, you know, and all this. And then we hear about college pros. He said, but, you know, in the NFL, he said from preseason to the regular season is like a different world. And from the regular season to the playoffs is like an even bigger, it's like a different universe is the way he would describe it. I'm just curious how much, you know, does it get more intense? We know it'll be more intense for the U.S., you know, than they had in that third match against Turkey because they had already locked up their spot. But, you know, did you notice that, like, oh, wow, it's the crowd's even more electric, the intensity's there? I mean, you theoretically are playing better teams. That's obvious. But did you notice it being everybody seemed to have an extra, you know, half a step in their speed?
Not in the World Cup. You know, regular season MLS game versus an MLS playoff game, absolutely, there's a major jump. But to me, all the World Cup games felt like playoff games.
Really? Okay.
There wasn't a ton of difference in the atmosphere, in the intensity, the approach between a group stage game and a knockout. But granted, I only have experience with one knockout game. So I think all the games at the World Cup, in my opinion, were at that playoff level.
What do you make of, we're talking to Matt Beasler here in the program, our World Cup insider, Sporting Kansas City legend. What do you make of that third match against Turkey and the way it was played? Number one, I've heard your, you know, breakdowns for Blue Cross and Blue Shield and talking about how they were able to reset the yellow cards. We know that was a big part of it, get some rest for some guys, but they didn't win. It wasn't, you know, particularly the best match they could play. How much of a concern is that?
I thought they played pretty well. I don't think they went out and laid an egg. The result is the worst part about the game, but they were dangerous. They looked sharp. You know, I think overall it's good to get some of those guys game minutes in a World Cup. So it's really just the ending. You know, if that game would have ended 2-2, or if we would have scored, I mean, we were knocking at the door in the second half. We had a ton of chances. I thought we played really well second half. But just say we don't give up that goal last minute or last second to Turkey, and the match finishes 2-2, then I think everybody's like, oh, yeah, that's great. We played well. We got minutes. But it's the fact we gave up that goal and you lost the game, it leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. So do I think it's a big factor? I hope not. I don't think it probably is. But like I said, I can tell you that I feel worse having lost the game than if we would have tied or won. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Pulisic comes in and plays late. What did you see from him? You know, I had iPhone, our intern, had a good way of putting it. He said, you know, he created some chances, didn't score. It's kind of like Bobby Witt coming in late to a game and hitting 3 balls to the warning track. Like, he did a lot of things right. It just didn't quite finish. Is that an accurate analysis? Do you think?
I thought he looked good. The fact that we were able to get him in was huge to me. I mean, he sat out the second game against Australia because he was injured. If he would have sat out again, and like the knockout game against Bosnia would be his first action, like a re-entry point, that would make me a lot more nervous. The fact that he was able to kind of, I don't know, I guess, get over the hump and get that game experience and kind of move on and say, okay, it feels good enough to play. I got that out of the way. Now I can just focus, get into rhythm in this game and not have to worry about it. That makes me feel better.
Did he look healthy to you?
Yeah, he did. He's a guy, he's got that quick twitch. I mean, it's the first step for him. It's the quickness. Unfortunately, he's had a lot of these muscle strains and muscle injuries because that's the type of player and that's what he needs to be at his best. But yeah, I thought first step looked really good. He looked explosive. He looked confident. He wasn't trying to hide anything or he wasn't favoring that calf at all. So all signs point to him being as close to 100% as you can be at this point.
Yeah, you never played with him, right? But did you ever cross over as far as him being like with the national team, with like one of the U18s or something? And
I did play with him. I played with him for the last year that I was in the national team. He was starting to get called in, so we were in a couple different camps together, and we played in some official matches. I don't think he ever started. He would kind of come off the bench, but he was an incredible player to bring off the bench when the game was opened up and some of the opponents were tired. He would come in the 55th, 60th minute, and he would just be blowing by guys. I do remember the very first practice going up against him. He was a guy that was like, whoa, this kid's got something different. As a defender, you have to be careful. He's a guy where you don't really want to get matched up against one-on-one because he'll blow by you and make you look stupid. The other thing about Christian Pulisic that I noticed right away, he can go both ways. And that's rare. Normally, like Messi, Messi's going to be on his left foot. Or so-and-so, he's only going to go right. Or maybe they only have one move and that's going to be their set. He can comfortably go either direction. So as a defender, that makes it really tough when you're matched up against him one-on-one, because you can't really take away one side or the other, and that leaves you flat-footed, and it's a big disadvantage.
Is he what's his psyche like? His mentality. I mean, you obviously were around him when he was very young. He's been around the international game and the highest levels of multiple different leagues over in Europe. So I'm sure he's matured a lot. But how's his psyche? Like some people are starting to make a thing. He's got to get a goal. He hasn't gotten a goal yet. Is that weighing on him? Do you think it's any of that bothers him?
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, I think that's probably the biggest question mark about him up until this point. When he was on the team and involved, he was such a young player. Like his psyche was great. He was respectful. He asked questions. He worked hard. He put his head. Like I have nothing bad or negative to say about that. I would say the role that he has now, Captain America, the face of the country, the face of the team, the leader, the man. I don't know if he's lived up to that quite yet. And I don't know if he's comfortable in that role or if he's made out to be in that role. That is why I think Mauricio Pochettino not naming him the captain was a brilliant decision, because it takes him a little bit away from that spotlight and gives somebody else the responsibility of being the captain and having to do all the press conferences and answering the questions. Somebody that's more comfortable, has more experience. So I loved that decision. But yeah, I think that is a piece that Christian Pulisic is still trying to figure out. Like, what is his role? Is he comfortable, that psyche of being the man and being the leader?
Yeah. Who else, would you look at that could make a big difference tonight?
I've always been impressed with Weston McKennie's psyche. He's a guy that never shies away from the big moments. To me, he's a gamer. I think sometimes in practice he maybe doesn't look as sharp, or some of the friendly, but like in the big moments, he always seems to step up. Like he wants the ball in his hand when the game's on the line, if that makes sense. And so those are guys that you always look to in knockout games like this. I've been really impressed with the forward, Flo Balogun. I think his psyche, I was reading one of his interviews after the game, and it seems like he's just locked in. He's humble. He's like, yeah, this is great. I scored a goal, but like we haven't accomplished anything yet. We're looking ahead to the next game, and we're going to give everything. Like that's what you want people saying in your locker room, especially a forward, a young player. I would probably expect forwards or young players to not be that humble in this moment. So I love seeing that. But yeah, Weston McKennie, Balogun, Tyler Adams in the middle. He's not going to be flashy, but I think he's won the most duels out of any player in the World Cup, which is great. That's kind of his MO, and that's what he excels at. I also read a stat about this team. Through the 3 group stage games, the U.S. has covered the most ground out of any team. So when you add up the distance covered and the miles run by all the players on the field, U.S. is ranked number 1 out of any team in the World Cup. And I think that's a great thing. I think you could spin it both ways. Sometimes, you look at it and say, well, wait, running isn't a good thing because that means you're chasing the game or you're losing or the other team has the ball and all you're doing is running and getting tired. I think the context of it is a really positive thing for the U.S. because the type of running that they've been doing, if you've watched any of their games, it's proactive. It's proactive running and closing the other team down. The ball turns over and everybody is running together. They're running like as a unit. So when I saw that stat, I was like, man, like if you combine the U.S. playing as confident as they are, they're trying stuff, they're being creative going forward, and they're putting in the work, they're covering the distance, and they have home field advantage. Those 3 things, like those are all really good ingredients to have success.
Bosnia, what I've been reading about is that they're a physical team, plenty of fouls, plenty of yellow cards, not that great at possession. You pretty much laid out how that first match was going to go and what the U.S. was going to, if they could get that first goal, if they could play out on that front foot, and it all followed through. How do you think this game plays out, and what's the best strategy for the U.S.?
It's going to be similar. I mean, those 2 first games against Paraguay and Australia, it went exactly how you would want it to go as a U.S. fan. We came out on the front foot, we put the other team under pressure, but we got an early goal, and it completely changed the dynamic. So curious to see what the game looks like if we don't get an early goal or if we give up a goal and we go down, how do we respond? I hope we don't have to see that, but that's something that we haven't really seen or answered yet this tournament. I will tell you that Bosnia, they're not going to be intimidated and they're not going to be afraid of the moment. They've already played Canada. Canada's a host country. It was a difficult environment. They were the underdogs. I think it was one of the first. It was the first, the second game of the World Cup because Mexico kicked off the World Cup first, and then Canada played the second game against Bosnia. So they've already been in this moment before. I would also say that the way that Bosnia qualified, they had to play one of the final playoff spots, a 2-game series against Italy, 4-time winner of the World Cup, and they beat Italy in a home and away to get into the World Cup. So like they're comfortable in these knockout stage environments. They're comfortable being the underdog. To me, that's what I would be most worried about as a U.S. fan.
They're tall and they're good at set pieces. That's one of the things that they're really good at. How good is the U.S. in your mind at defending the set pieces?
I think we're good too. I mean, I think our defenders, Chris Richards especially, he's a monster. He's a monster in the air. Anthony Robinson as well. He's a pretty big guy for being an outside back. We always used to say though, the easiest way or the best thing to do to not give away set piece goals, you don't give away set pieces.
Yeah.
So, you could play the best set piece team in the world, but if you don't give away any corner kicks, they're not going to score on a corner.
Yeah.
If you give a team 15 corner kicks, well, their chances of scoring on a set piece increase dramatically. So, I think you're spot on about Bosnia and the breakdown. That is their strength. So not only, yes, we have to be locked in on when we are defending set pieces, but how about we just don't give away a lot of set pieces? We don't even give Bosnia their strength of the game.
And that would seem to get easier with the fact that Bosnia does not possess the ball. I mean, to get a set piece, you got to have the ball. And, is patience, because I worry that, they even were able to score, fairly effectively against, I know they didn't end up winning, but, it was their backups. But getting a goal, they were answering right back against Turkey. If they do find themselves, 0-0, 32 minutes into it, do they start to press and maybe open up the counterattack, right? Is that the fear of how it goes wrong? If you're possessing the ball, is that they start to get frustrated that they're not having the success that they've been used to having here in this tournament?
Yeah, it could be, but man, I don't think this U.S. team is going to have a problem scoring goals or getting chances, regardless if they're down or if it's late in the game. I mean, they've proven in the way they've looked like this team is dangerous going forward. So I'm confident that they're going to create a lot of good chances tonight.
Yeah, I hope so. I think we all hope so. All right, so how do you think it'll play out? That's what needs to happen. That's how it is. How do you think this game is going to play out?
I think the U.S. is going to handle business. I think that they're going to be excited to with the way the Turkey A game ended. I think they're going to be excited to come out and prove that didn't mean anything. That last goal in the last minute was just a fluke. The home field advantage. The fans have been incredible up until this point, and I just think the team, they have a lot of confidence, and I can only go off what I've seen so far, and so far what I've seen, they've looked awesome. I mean, this team is fun to watch. I really enjoyed watching this team, and I'm just excited to watch them again. I don't want this thing to end, and I think if somehow it does end tonight, I think we're all going to be scratching our heads and be like, what just happened? How did that happen? We went from talking about this team making a run to the semifinals, and all of a sudden we didn't get out of the round of 32.
Yeah, this is a game that's still going on, by the way. We're now in the 107th minute of extra time, or 107th minute overall in extra time right now. It's still 2-2, obviously. But that was supposed to go that way. The U.S. is a heavy favorite. I mean, that it will be a tremendous wet blanket on what's been a great World Cup so far for the U.S., even with the loss to Turkey, if it ends this way when you're a favorite. I mean, that's NCAA tournament style. Play to your seed at least, and preferably steal one more beyond your seed. That's kind of what people consider to be success to great tournaments. Lose to a team you're supposed to beat, and it's going to really take the wind out of the sails.
Yeah, 100%, and that's why this is I said I'm excited and I'm confident about this game. There is a part of me that's nervous too, because quite frankly, we've never really been in this position before as a soccer country. Yes, we've made it to the knockout round. We've gone all the way to the quarterfinals in 2002, which is the farthest we've ever made it. But I don't think we've ever been to the knockout round and been favored in a game. And so now we have that pressure, and we're a host country and all those things. So we'll see how they come out. We'll see how they handle all that.
Yeah, we're talking to Matt Beasler here in the program. Time for our final four quickies. I will start you with this. Best kit out there, not counting the U.S. We'll take them out so they're not even part of the equation. What uniforms out there do you look at and go, ooh, I'd like to wear that?
Croatia.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. The checkerboard.
I like the checkered. It's just different.
Yeah.
Croatia always has some sort of checkered. It's the red, white, and blue, but it's a checkerboard somewhere in the uniform.
I think that's really cool. The Norway one. I like the ones that are the flags. I mean, I get the Dutch; they love their orange and all that, but it just seems awkward. I know it's an Americanized thing because I grew up with all of our national uniforms being red, white, and blue and tailored after the flag. I love all the African countries, all the red, yellow, green, black combos.
I would agree with you. I like France does an awesome job. They just don't try to change it up too much. They have red socks, white shorts, and a blue jersey, and it looks exactly like their country's flag. I do like Norway's jersey. I hate their numbers, though. I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh, they're awful.
the font, you can't even read them. What are they doing?
It's supposed to be some kind of Viking-looking font, I
Well,
think.
It looks like a Viking tried to write it.
Strong.
I think the I love that you said the French uniforms. They're like the Yankees or Penn State, or it's like a classic, iconic. Like, we ain't messing with it. Oh, you have your City Connect uniforms? Yeah, well, we have our pinstripes, right? Like,
I couldn't agree more.
That's
when it's not broke, don't fix it when it's not broke.
Exactly.
Classic. Just don't try and do too much.
All right. So, what's the worst kit?
Good question.
They're all pretty good. And
I'm looking at this Belgium game right now. I don't love that kit.
The light blue, I don't either, because it doesn't really have with your colors.
It's not their colors. I tune on. I'm like, well, who's this team playing? I don't know who it is.
It looks like it's like the the Pink Daisies 7 and under squad playing down in Palm Beach or something with those uniforms. I think these are probably the worst ones I've seen.
Let's go Belgium.
Yeah, we'll go Belgium. All right, I like that. All right, next, how far does the U.S. go? Where you feeling now? Got the bracket now.
I think I was maybe a little too overconfident last week when we spoke. I think I threw out a semifinals. I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to go quarterfinals.
Okay.
I think that do I think that they will go to the semifinals? Probably not. Do I expect them to? Probably not, but they could. Okay. And that's something that I probably wouldn't say before the tournament started. So I think they could go to the semifinals, which is exciting. Where do I think they'll end up? Quarterfinals.
Which, if they go to the semifinals, if I'm not mistaken, they'd have to go through Spain or Portugal, correct?
Correct. That's the way that it's shaping up. So they play the winner of Belgium, Senegal in the round of 16, and then they're over on the Spain side for that quarterfinal match.
Yeah. Okay. I'd love to just see them line up. Let's see what they look like against one of the best.
At that point, look, I don't even for this next matchup. Like, if you were to ask me who are they going to play, Belgium or Senegal, which one do you like better? If you tell me Senegal, I'm saying sure. I want to play Senegal. Well, why do you want to play Senegal? Well, it means we're still in the tournament.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I want to play Senegal, because we're still playing.
All right, and then who wins it all? Where are you at now on who's going to win it all?
I'm allowed to change, right?
Yeah, you can take whoever you want.
What I've seen.
Yeah.
I think I've been on Brazil for the first couple weeks of this session, this show. I got to change over to France. They're the favorites of the tournament. They've been the favorite all along. I didn't select them as my pick just because I wanted to maybe be different. They look so good right now. I mean, they are so far ahead of everybody else. They don't have any weaknesses, and they're playing well. It's going to take a lot to beat France.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, when you finally said France, I was already at FRAN in writing it down. I knew right where you were going when you started down that road. Matt, always great stuff. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to talking to you again next week.
Hey, let's keep talking, because that means we're still playing. So go USA tonight.
Absolutely, 100%. There he goes, Matt Beasler, our World Cup insider, World Cup participant himself, of course, Sporting Kansas City legend, joins us here in the program to talk some soccer, and we always love it. He does such a great job in breaking things down. Of course, he's brought to you by our friends at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of Blue. You need to know if you just got in your car that you missed Matt Beasler.
Yep.
Great breakdown for tonight's match. You can catch it on the podcast here in about half hour or so. Sports Radio 810, or it's actually Sports Radio 810 WHB. Or no, it's 810WHB.com. What the hell? I've only worked here since 2004. Maybe I'll commit the website to memory at some point. The 810 app's a good way to get it to.
True story.
Yeah.
We still rocking it. We still.
That's what I was trying to tell Vicky in the 3 o'clock hour. I said, "Get the app, Vicky.
Get the app, Vicky. Vicky, get the app."
She goes, "What?"
Get the app. By the way, we have there's some kind of disagreement. I can't tell. We're at the 119th minute, and I was looking at the. Are we going to get a penalty here in the box? Either someone's looking for a penalty, or they called a penalty, and some people are pissed that they called it.
There's drama.
If there is a penalty, it'll be Senegal taking the shot. I think we're going to get the video review look here. Is what he's on the headset. Which, by the way, the refs are great because they have the headset that goes around, goes over their ears and around to the back and has the mic that comes down.
Mm-hmm.
But on the opposite side from where the mic is, they now have a camera.
Yeah.
Because they have like the ref cam.
Yes.
So now it's almost like is that a targeting?
In fact, the
laser on the side of his head. What the hell is that?
The ref cam of the first.
We are going to be AR. We're in the now soon to be. We are in the 120th minute, and so this could be decided with a penalty kick.
Wow. At
the very end of extra time.
The ref camera goal of Messi's first goal in that game here, was just amazing because he spun. You could see the pass. He actually follows the pass in the air right to the foot of Messi and the goal. It's one of the best angles you could imagine.
All right, let's see if I don't have the volume up on the game in here, but let's see if my soccer prowess. I'm going to say that there will be no penalty because I think the ruling is going to be that I'm trying to figure out I can't tell who's trying to score and who's trying to defend.
While you're waiting, good news for the U.S. Christian Pulisic is in the starting lineup.
Okay. I think they're going to rule that there's no penalty if they're trying to see if Belgium was due a penalty.
Belgium.
But if it's Senegal, if Belgium's trying to score and it's Senegal, then I think there will be a penalty. So how about that? I didn't see which side they're shooting at. So we'll find out. Riveting stuff here. Riveting stuff. But it is actually, this is the opponent who will play the U.S. if they get by. By the way, is he wearing shoulder pads? What's going on there?
It does kind of look like it, doesn't it?
Was he hiding something in the shirt there? What do we got?
See, Daniel Sperry just tweeted penalty here. Has to be.
Okay. Well, then if they're going the direction I said, then it's going to be a penalty, and it's going to be if Belgium is kicking, then that's what I said. Yes, Senegal's freaking out. So Belgium is going to get a PK, and the referee, near as I can tell, has a couple of packs of smokes, one in each shoulder.
Yeah, what's that all
what
about?
it looks like. I don't know. I'm sure there's some tracking or measuring thing, or maybe that's the battery for the
that could be
ref cam or something is up there to make it so it's not obtrusive in his running. But it looks like this one is going to come down to if Belgium can stick a PK in, they're going to win because we're going to be. They might give a minute or two, whatever the review time was, up till 20. So maybe one or two plus 1 or 2.
That will be a quiet ride home for Senegal.
Up 2-0. Up
2-0 in the 83rd or 84th minute and going home.
Wow.
Not part of the plan.
I love all the Senegal guys. I love everyone. No one's ever committed a foul.
No
one's ever committed a foul.
What?
So we're going to get a PK. We'll let you know what happens. This is going to be for basically the match here, and the winner again takes on the United States, who is coming up at 7 o'clock against Bosnia and Herzegovina.
But they were only going to be allowed 11 players, not 22. They can't put both.
They don't get to put both squads out there.
Wow, the American players at a 2-1 disadvantage here.
Earlier today, England beat the Democratic Republic of Congo 2-1. They were down 1-0, and Harry Kane turned the game around with goals in the 75th and 86 minutes. So another big boy on the ropes, but surviving. Two big boys have gone down, the Netherlands and Germany. But big boy on the ropes for much of the match.
Kane.
And Harry Kane to the rescue.
Pretty good.
Now, a Senegal guy has decided,
I'm hurt.
We can't lose if they can't get me off the field.
He's going to go dead weight.
Oh, my God. He was messing with the guy from Belgium. The guy from Belgium puts his elbow back and makes contact with his stomach. And he goes, hey, what's that? And then, and then goes down.
Worst acting ever.
Trying to draw the red card, or I don't know.
Might as well, you're on the edge. Might as well try everything.
Everybody from Senegal now killing time, loitering around.
Hang on, I got to pee.
No, hang on. I got to go talk to our goalie.
I got to tie my shoe.
Hold on. We're gonna freeze the shooter.
Yeah, time out.
Freeze the shooter.
Make it time. We'll have to tie our shoes in succession.
He's picked up the ball and said, all right, enough of this nonsense. All right, we'll see. I'll let you know when we get to it. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will have their wedding at Madison Square Garden on Friday night, according to a law enforcement official briefed on security plans. I still think that's a distraction. Am I the only one?
I don't think it is, but I don't think you're crazy for thinking it is.
Rehearsal dinner planned for tomorrow night. Somebody spoke to the AP on condition of anonymity. I don't know. We'll see.
Because it wasn't true.
All right, here we go. Belgium did it, upper right corner. Goalie went low right, went low and to his right. The kick went to the left, to the goalie's left, to the shooter's right in the upper right corner. 3-2 Belgium as we enter the 126th minute. They'll probably allow Senegal about a one push, maybe a minute or two. That's about when the foul occurred. So it's not over yet. We've had some late heroics at the very end, so we'll see if that ends up being the case in this one.
Saw it here, in fact. Late heroics for Austria.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's over. Nope.
Well, nice shot. I mean, he couldn't have blocked it even if he guessed right. That was just perfect. Upper right corner.
Oh, wow.
I mean, just inside the pole, maybe a foot from the crossbar.
Bulge in the old onion bag.
That was impressive. Royals back at it tonight with the Rays. 640 on Royals TV. Rays minus 137. Royals plus 114. It's Lugo against Shane McClanahan.
Mm-hmm.
Royals going to get it going?
No.
Bad news today for the Royals. Left-hand pitcher Chris Bubich has been moved from the 15-day injured list to the 60-day list. He was scheduled for a rehab start tonight. They've pulled him from that start. They brought him back. Scott Sharp talked about this. You heard it first right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB on New Day with SSJ. Stephen St. John's weekly conversation with Scott Sharp that they pulled him from his start. And the 60-day part, that's kind of procedural. I mean, if they're pulling him, then they're going to shut him down for a little bit. Then he's got to ramp it back up. So it's clearly going to be more than 12 or 13 more days, which is what he's 45, 6, 7 days into it. So it was going to be past 60. This now allows him to put somebody else onto the 40-man, gives him a little more option. Bullpen very depleted right now, especially with Kolek out on bereavement. So they could use some help on that front.
Want to hear the lineup?
After I give you the moves, Royals, which you gave earlier, but just to do it again, option Eric Sarantola to AAA Omaha placed Connor Siebold on the 15-day injured list. You know a fat ass like that wasn't going to be. Oh, that's not you.
No.
No, never mind. Put him on the 15-day injured list with a right lat strain. Right-hand pitchers Jose Cuas and Randy Dobnik have been recalled from Omaha and are likely to play. Yes, let's get some lineup news.
By the way, the reason why that's not related, unlike Low T, he has no T in his last name.
That's right.
That's the distinction.
Totally different.
But when you're sitting in the press box and you hear, here's the line on Siebold. Huh? Oh, yeah. That's not me. The lineup tonight, Lane Thomas leading off in center field. Batting second, Bobby Witt Jr. at short. Batting third, Jack Caglione in right. Batting fourth, Starling Marte at DH. Batting fifth, Salvador Perez at first base. Catching, Carter Jensen. Third base, Nick Lofton. Left field, Tyler Tolbert. Second baseman, Michael Massey against the left-hander, Shane McClanahan. I don't get it.
Okay. Salvador Perez has made a lot of people look foolish. He looks like a guy that can't make contact and then goes out and hits a couple of big bombs. Let's hope that's what happens tonight, because I just don't understand the idea of you get a groin injury with Jack Caglione. He's run into the wall and had a shoulder injury. Like, are you just looking to devastate? Is it going to take like a ACL or something for you to be like, well, maybe we shouldn't play him out there?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
By the way, from our friend Andy Rogers, Matt Cotrero said the club anticipates Stephen Kolek starting tomorrow against the Rays. That's a day game.
So he should be back.
Yeah. That's it, though. Right field.
I mean, it just makes no sense.
Right field.
How long's Vinny been down?
Let me see.
Because I think when he comes back, that makes it a little bit tougher. But
I just love the fact that when they type in, it says American first baseman. June 13th.
June 13th.
So,
and that's a
18
4 to
days.
6 week injury. So probably only a couple of weeks. So yeah, got a ways to go. Got another month to go on that one. So go figure.
Go figure. I can't.
News from Major League Baseball. Baseball's attempt to trademark play ball has been denied. United States Patent and Trademark Office denied MLB's application to trademark play ball for clothing. They wrote in a final action filing on Friday. In this case, the applied for marks is a commonplace term, message, or expression widely used by a variety of sources that merely conveys an ordinary, familiar, well-recognized concept or sentiment. This on the heels of LeBron's attempt to trademark Taco Tuesday and Ohio State's attempt to trademark the.
Hard to do. One more Royals note if you want it.
Sure.
Vinny Pasquantino, this is also from Andy Rogers. Vinny Pasquantino and Kyle Isbell participated in BP and defensive drills today. The plan was to get them to Arizona to continue rehab later this week, but they're actually going to stay in Kansas City and continue their work. The expectation / hope is that both go on a rehab assignment next week.
Already for Vinny?
That surprises me.
Could we protect Vinny from himself, please?
I don't get it. Isbell, I get. Vinny, that's quick. That's quick. For something like that, man.
Yeah. Major League Baseball and the MLBPA Players Association announced a joint $1 million donation Tuesday to aid in the recovery from the devastating earthquakes that struck Venezuela last week. The money will be directed to the American Red Cross, helping the organization provide shelter, safe drinking water, health care, essential relief items, and mental health services for a country deep-rooted in baseball. Venezuela, crowned champions of the World Baseball Classic, Salvador Perez, Venezuelan, Michael Garcia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do we have a third player, or was it just those two?
I thought there was one more.
On Team Venezuela?
Angel Zerpa.
Oh, yeah, former Royal.
He was on there. But
he was. Okay. Maybe that's what we're thinking. It's over, by the way, now. Belgium is a final. Belgium wins 3-2. They come back from 2-0 down with, what do we say on this?
I think it was 83rd or 84th minute.
We said.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, let me see.
Hit the box score. Right?
The goals for Belgium came in the 86th and 89th minute.
Wow.
And the 120th plus 6.
That is, that's a gut shot.
Man, that's going to be a tough flight home.
Yep.
Holy cow!
And
the good news,
not
at
a
least
short one.
they're close because they're in Seattle. Oh wait, never mind. I mean, it's probably not quite as far out of the way as you think, because I'm assuming they're going to go over the pole, and land in like London or Paris, and then on south to Africa. They're not going across the country and across the ocean. Usually all those flights are going up over the pole.
Travel math says 12 hours, 48 minutes.
To get
from Seattle to Dakar, Senegal, which is their capital.
I wonder if there's a direct flight. 12 hours you can do in one flight.
I think that's what this is, I think.
You would think that FIFA would charter them,
yeah,
all planes, but who knows?
Oh, it says here there are no direct flights for that.
Okay. Well, but if they charter, there will be.
Yeah, that's what
if the plane's got the distance.
Their plane probably goes.
Can I just a quick sidebar? The one time I have done that flight, and you look at the flight
Seattle
tracker.
to Senegal?
No, I've done a flight to Europe. I did Denver to.
Oh, the travel math.
Denver to. I can't remember if we went into Berlin or. What's the other big one? Why am I trying to? Munich. I can't remember if we went. I think we went into Berlin. Maybe it was Munich. I don't know. Whatever it was. When you look at the travel tracker, and you're over Antarctica, kind of like, let's keep this one up. You know, let's keep this flying,
please.
You know,
I want to be a subject of a movie.
You know, there's like I don't want to crash ever,
right?
And I don't know what's better about crashing in the desert. Just going in Antarctica just seems to be like that really sucks. So something to think about. Just the thoughts you have. We're on that when you're on that overnight flight.
The old George Carlin bit, the nonstop flight. No, I insist this flight stop, preferably at an airport.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break, come back, wrap things up here with the kicker.
But first, the La Feta Delicatessen, end of the hour answer on this date in 1987. Susan Waldman of 10:50 a.m. in New York made history. How?
She became the first woman to call a Major League Baseball game.
Close. She was the first voice ever heard on the first ever 24-hour sports radio station when WHN Country became WFAN.
Ah, okay.
The first host was a fill-in host for the man who initially was scheduled to be their first host, but had a heart attack and couldn't debut for a few months later. Yes.
Had a heart attack?
Yes. I can't think of Jim something. With Jim Franklin. And so filling in was Jim Lampley.
Wow.
A year later, they flipped over to where they are now, to 660.
They did a frequency swap, like WHB did back in the
during
day.
the Dodgers-Mets NLCS in 88.
Okay.
Day of one of the games, they flipped it over.
Oh, impressive. By the way, couple of nuggets for you that we didn't get to. One, trade in the NBA. Jaylen Brown has been dealt by the Boston Celtics. He goes to the Philadelphia 76ers. So the Sixers trying to prop it up with Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Paul George coming back to the Celtics. He actually played more than he's played in quite a while. He also was suspended part of the year this year. The Celtics will also receive 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. So a lot of action in the NBA. Walker Kessler going to the Lakers for a couple of first-round picks and a couple of pick swaps. So Luka said, we need a center. Oh, okay, Luka, whatever you want. LeBron's gone.